It's your boy Jeff coming to you with another Extreme Nerd Table. We ran a little late today for the Super Bowl. You guys all know we were just all watching the Super Bowl, but I actually have Marco here. Tim won't be joining us. Tim had some issues, but we have Randall joining us a little later. But here's Marco.
What's up?
So, what were you up to today, man? Watching the Super Bowl, I know, and then
Yeah,
saw a bunch of
yeah.
trailers.
I went with family to go finish getting the rest of the stuff for Super Bowl. Then stopped by the library real quick because the library near us has this little store where they take the multiple copies of stuff and and old
Right.
stuff and try to get rid of it through donations that you get to the library. So I went there, picked up a few books that I saw, um, and then went back, got everything set up, and then watched a tiny bit of the pregame, but I was just an hour and a half until the game starts. I don't really care about the pregame stuff. I was like, so I watched some, regular TV, caught a couple of shows that I watch, and then I was like, and then when it was time to go, I was like, all right, let's get on to the game, which I really enjoyed. I haven't watched Super Bowl in forever. I like football and sports and all that, but I'm not the type of person that really follows it.
You and me both. I don't follow it much either, man. It's like, you know what I mean. I wanted to be a wrestler when I was a kid. So I wanted to be in the WWE and all this other stuff. When I was in high school down here, so, since Florida is a big thing for wrestlers.
Yeah.
So in high school, I wanted to be a wrestler, and I wanted to be I played football for a little bit, but not a lot. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. That's when I was I grew up with my dad watching baseball and then basketball. He really wasn't a big football person, but he does enjoy football. But and I grew playing up football with friends and baseball and all that. But I guess because you have people that they keep up with every game and all that stuff, and they play fantasy. But I think all that part of my brain that would have went to that. Keeping up the games, fantasy football, statistics, and all that went to comic books. As soon as I started becoming a collector as a kid of comic books and cards, and going into the comic shop and the ice cream man coming by and buying trading cards and all that, all my compartmentalism in my brain that was would have went for sports went pushed the sports aside. It was like comics, toys, animation, all that stuff went in there.
Right.
What about you?
Yeah, same thing. Like I was sports a little bit, but not too much. I was like basketball guy more. Like wrestling, like for like MMA type stuff, like fighting type stuff. I was more a fighter than anything else. You know what I mean?
What were you doing today before the game?
Not much. Doing my laundry, pretty much.
You're like being an adult.
Yeah, doing laundry. I was earlier. I was on the live show with the other friends, the Silver Age Sunday crew.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, and then I was on there, and then midnight of this morning, early morning, I was with Robert, Comic Book G Spot.
Oh, nice.
Galvin, and we were doing our early morning type thing, our early morning show.
Cool. So basically, when you were earlier with the Silver Age spot, I guess basically they were like, man, fuck that football. Silver Age!
Yeah. Pretty much. And then,
that's awesome.
And then now we're here. And cool. I got my book back from Spooky Empire.
Yeah, I saw the pictures that you posted. Like, that thing is beautiful.
Yeah, but you want to hear the funny thing, Marco? The funny thing is CGC writes up here, signed by James Hahn and Lo Pan, because since it's in Cantonese here, it's Han's name in Cantonese. Yeah, they're saying it's signed by two people, so it's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
So that's what that thing says. So I'm laughing so hard. I'm like, they messed up. It's okay though.
That's cool though.
All right. One thing I'm gonna ask is, how much would you pay for somebody like James Hahn, the Goonies, like stuff you grew up with?
that stuff to me is more important. Like, you have people that are like, oh my god, who freak out when they meet like some big celebrity. Like let's say, like if I ever met Tom Cruise, I'd be like, oh cool, nice to meet you. I've enjoyed your movies. I wouldn't really freak out. I mean, I wouldn't freak out for anybody, but I wouldn't really be like, oh my god, I'm gonna meet Tom Cruise. But like for me, if you say you're gonna meet, Han, who played Lopan, you're gonna meet, Joe Dante, the director of not Goonies, Gremlins and Howling. You're going to meet the cast from Goonies. You're going to meet, the cast of Buckaroo Banzai. Kurt Russell, Big Trouble in Little China, the Big Trouble in Little China crew. That to me is more important. So it's like, I would pay. I mean, if money is no object, but I mean, I'm still cheap because I'm Hispanic. So I would pay. You mean in total, like? I paid for the signatures. I got it slabbed, everything, all that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So signatures, slabbed, everything. Let's say I'd probably, and again, because I'm cheap, I'd probably go as high as 250, 300.
Okay. That's not too bad. I paid 150. No, I paid 50 for his signatures.
Yep.
So, and then I paid... I went through Agents of Slab, so 55 to do this, and so pretty much that's what I paid, pretty much to get it done.
Yes, that's a great deal. That's like that's a priceless. That's like to you that like means something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, because I grew up with him, and then you know what I mean. He was the only Asian guy that I knew of that played a character.
If I could get a comic cover, because I haven't read any of the Big Trouble in Little China comics, but if I could get a comic cover that shows, what's her name, who played the reporter chick,
Sex and the City lady. Sex and the City lady. Trying to think. Kim Cattrall.
Yeah, Kim Cattrall, and then the actress who I don't know if she's ever done anything else, but played the fiance, the girl that's coming from China.
Yeah, she's a model. So
yeah. So if they had done a cover of both of them on it and Lopan in the background, I would get Han to sign it. He's like 2 girls with green eyes. So I'd have him sign. I'd have him sign like that. 2 girls with green eyes, and then that would be like something awesome to have, because he has a great. Because the thing I love about that movie is that he really doesn't play. He kind of, but really doesn't play the stereotypical Asian villain. And what's great is you have Kurt Russell, who's basically playing the sidekick, but doesn't realize he's the sidekick.
Right.
And then the other actors, it's Chinatown. They're the leads. It's their story. It's just Kurt Russell has just crashed into the whole story. And he thinks he's the man. He's the man, and he's telling the story to the audience. So you have that scene where he basically catches the knife because he's telling the audience the story. So of course he's going to make himself look cool in some of the bits. Right. But it's such a good movie. It's one of those ones that I watch over and over again. I think I have a special edition, the special edition from Shout Factory.
I have the same thing. I have the Steelbook.
Yeah, like I don't have the Steelbook, but I have that special edition. I just love it's such a damn good film.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorites, man. If it's on TV or if I will feel bored and I want to watch something, I'll watch that all the time.
When you were a kid, okay, so when they fight the Warriors, the one that's like the God ones, did you ever think of did you ever think Lightning when you were a kid? You're like, oh man, that guy would make a good Raiden in a Mortal Kombat movie.
Funny fact is the guy that created Mortal Kombat actually said that's where it came from.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then the hats they have are actually, if you actually put the wicker back in it, it's actually a garbage can for Asian garbage can, pretty much.
But see, that's awesome, because every time after Mortal Kombat had come out, and you'd catch like Big Trouble back then in repeats on TV, and I was watching it, like, man, this guy is just like Raiden. But yeah, no, it's so good, so good.
Yeah, man, like that was one of my favorites. Goonies was one of my favorites when I was a kid. Like Gremlins, Sandlot, all those kid you know what I mean, all the kid movies.
I'm an '80s kid, man. I love.
Yeah.
To me, I tell people not to say that other eras of cinema didn't have
Right.
great cinema, but to me, I think the '80s era had the best for
Right.
kids movies, for
Yeah.
animation. Because you
Yeah.
had like Don Bluth doing his dark stuff with like Secrets of NIMH and all that. You
Right.
had the best for type of stuff like Buckaroo Banzai, Big Trouble in Little China, The
Yeah.
Gremlins, Return of the
Yeah.
Living Dead.
Yeah.
E.T. How all this it was great for horror, great for sci-fi fantasy.
My first ever horror movie was Evil Dead 2.
Mine, mine, I think was Nightmare on Elm Street 1. I think it was either Nightmare on Elm Street 1 or it might have been with Friday the 13th. Because I know back then, in the daytime, like now,
Right.
I don't know if they would on regular TV, not cable TV. Now now I don't think on regular TV they would show Friday the 13th movies in the daytime. But back then on the weekend they would,
Yeah.
So
I remember.
So
late afternoon, 3:00 in the afternoon. You'll sit there and the spooky guy come on and say, "Hey, da 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 da." Here's a B movie you can watch. I remember that.
So I think it's either Friday. Like my memory says to me more it's Nightmare on Elm Street, but I remember watching a lot of Friday the 13th on.
I remember that. Yeah, but I know why I watched Friday the 13th. What's the real reason we watched Friday the 13th? Was because there were boobs in it.
Yeah, man. It's like those movies were. It's just crazy when you think about it. When you're a kid back then, there was so much stuff that. Hey,
it's him.
Look at this man, all the way from the hospital.
As you can see, I'm in the hospital still.
You doing okay, though? You doing all right, though? You doing all right?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I just saw that the email, and I thought I'd just click on and just say, hey, everybody, I'm out there thinking of everyone, and everything's going good. So don't worry about me.
Just relax, Tim. Don't worry about it, man. Just relax, and you'll be all right.
Right on.
Yeah, man. Recover, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mal. Greatly appreciated. I don't want to stay too long. I just wanted to say hello and get you guys back to your conversation.
And remember, the key word is when you're sitting there and the nurse comes in, you're like, hit me with the good stuff, and then when she injects you with it.
Right. Looks like I'll be here for a couple of days, so I'm not sure if I'll see you Tuesday or not, Jeff.
All right, that's good, man. Just take care of yourself, man. Really, you know what I mean. We don't need you to have no issues. So,
thanks a lot.
Yeah, man. Get well soon.
Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was good to see him.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either.
Right? That was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say was the funny thing is, and I'm sure you talked about this with with people and all that, is that the '80s. It's so funny to me that I think like some of the stuff people are like, oh, kids can't watch that or they can't see this. But the '80s, it was like, no, we'll do Rambo as a cartoon. We'll do RoboCop as a cartoon. We'll make Predator and Aliens toys. We'll make toys and cartoons out of all these R-rated.
Anything, man. It was anything. It was anything was a toy. Even Big Trouble in Little China had toys. I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I looked them up. There's a Lo Pan. There's a freaking Jack Burton out there too. I'm like, even the Thunder, Lightning, and Rain, they have action figures.
When Friday 13th, not Friday 13th, when Nightmare on Elm Street was at its highest, I remember it was all like kids my age that were watching it. Like when they would do shows like talk shows where Freddy Krueger would come on, Robert Englund as Freddy, or daytime shows, and you see kids going crazy for Freddy Krueger. And nowadays, if like they'd be like, oh no, you can't go crazy for this stuff. You can't be watching it. It's just so weird to think of the time we grew up in, which they were just like, whatever, you'll figure it out.
It's like that they knew we were smarter back then. It's like more internet now. It's like, oh yeah, they're not smart enough to figure this out by themselves.
Right. Give a
Or,
shout out
like,
to
the
the.
weekend
Let me give a
is-
shout out to the two people I see commenting: M. Williams
Yeah.
and Conquistadors. How's it going?
Conquistador, like always. My brother from Silver Eight Sundays, always
Nice,
looking out
nice.
for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. It's
what
like,
were you gonna say?
yeah, it's like now this generation is like they got computers, they got all that. They should be a lot smarter about stuff, and they should know this stuff is fake, and not, you know what I mean, and not be so worried about it.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because I have a friend. He's in the film industry, and he watches horror movies with his kids. But what he does is he'll show them the I think he either shows them before or after the movie, but he'll show them behind the scenes stuff so that they can see like it's people who are controlling animatronics, using makeup effects and all that, so they know. Like he won't let them see, you know, if it goes beyond a certain point, he's like, okay, you can't watch, you know, close your eyes, you know. But he'll let them see a lot of the stuff, and then he'll show them like, hey, this is all fake. It's, you know, special effects, blah blah blah, and then so they know. So they grow up, you know, you know, being like, oh, this is just fun. It's make believe. It's just, you know, to scare people.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I think that's, you know, a good thing to do as a parent, to like watch. And that's me. When I was a kid, my mom loves horror, so I grew up watching horror of her, and you know, and consuming that stuff. So for me, it was just like, oh, I mean, it scared the crap out of me. But for me, it's one of those things.
Which one. Well, I'm trying to figure out which. That's what it was. I couldn't watch Friday the 13th. I forgot what it was. Friday the 13th, or it was Nightmare on Elm Street. One of those I couldn't watch because I could watch it, but I wouldn't want to watch them because I would freak the hell out. But now like when I was 13, 14, started watching them, I'm like, why the hell was I so freaked out when I was a kid? You know what I mean? Like,
I couldn't watch them in the night. At daytime, I could watch them, not be scared when it came nighttime, and I didn't want to go to bed easily. But if I watched them at night, because when I lived in the Miami area, there was this tree outside of our apartment. So in my window, when the tree was moving, it would look like Freddy's claws, you know? So that would always freak me out. But then when you get older, you're kind of like, you know, when you start getting to like 11, 12, you know, teen years, then 11, 12, you're kind of like, eh. When you start teenager, you're like, this is fake.
I remember now. The one that freaked me out the most wasn't those Friday the 13th, and it wasn't Freddy. It was the It ones. I couldn't watch the It all the way through.
Dude.
I couldn't watch
the original.
The original one.
I haven't seen the second part of the new one. I enjoyed the first part, even though it was a little too Freddy Krueger for me.
Right.
But the original, like Tim Curry, that It.
Yeah.
Like I remember 10 years ago, maybe more than 10 years ago, because I've seen it a bunch of times, but I think it was like 15 years ago. I rewatched it again with my sister, and I was like, it's good, but it's not as scary as I remember it being. But Tim Curry still plays a really good It. Like I think he's the best It so far.
Yeah, but me too. I think I watched it back like 2 years ago, and I'm like, why the hell was I so freaked out when I was a kid? And I actually watched it all the way through, and I'm like, why was I so freaked out again?
William Sorolla said his first horror movie was Poltergeist. William, that is my favorite horror movie. Steven Spielberg's Poltergeist. Love Spielberg. You know, he produced it. Toby Hooper directed it. But I love that movie. That's my favorite horror movie.
That's another one that freaked me out when I was younger too, because of the kid touching the TV. And
you know what freaked me out about Poltergeist? What really freaked me out is when they go to the hotel and then the kid's teeth, his braces. Remember that scene where they start like?
Which one was that? Which one was that clown in Poltergeist? That damn clown.
I think it's the first one. I think it's the little. Turn thing, the little turn clown thing that he has. I think that's the first one also. Because the second one,
that thing kind of freaked me the hell out when I was younger. I was like, what the hell?
Because the second one is when they introduced the priest, old white pastor guy, the very southerny, you know, was creepy. And then the third one is when her family's gone and then she moves in for uncle in the apartment complex, in that high rich apartment complex. The first one's the best. Second one, you know, I enjoyed them because, you know, horror. But the first one's the best one. That's, to me, the funny thing is about the first movie, they were for the sequel, Spielberg and Hooper originally wanted to do the story. Because, you know, at the end of the movie, the house gets sucked into the little portal into the other dimension. Well, the thing is, you were going to find out in the second movie that portal's still active, and the government was going to send the military in. So the second Poltergeist movie is going to be more like Aliens, where military go into this like hell dimension.
Yeah.
But then the studio's like, we don't want to do that. So that
that would have been cool. That would have been really cool.
That would have been a badass movie. I was just like, whatever. It's like, man.
Since we're talking about movies, you saw the Fast 9 trailer. What you think?
Dude, I love it. I love what Fast 9 does. Randall said he'll be home in 20 minutes.
Tell him take his time. I'd rather talk because we don't get to know each other. We get to know each other a little better.
So Fast 9, I love all those Fast and Furious ones. Like, here's the thing. I don't really care for the first one because it's just a blatant copy of Point Break. Right. I love Point Break. It's a movie I watch with my father at least once or twice a year. We watch it every year. Right. We've had for the past 10, 12, whatever years.
Have you watched the remake?
Yes, and I watched it once and I'll never watch it again. And I watched it with my dad, and the only reason he wanted to see it because he thought the extreme sports scenes looked amazing. Where they do the diving and it's like, it's today's technology and all that, and that's the only. But watching them, we both hated it. But I didn't like Fast and the Furious 1. Then Fast and the Furious 2 came out. I thought this was not bad. And then 3, I really liked Tokyo Drift, which I guess some people didn't. Yeah. That had the great, Vin Diesel ending.
I like. And look what 9 did to. You remember
Dude, that was watching the trailer for 9. I was like, okay, I love that they're like, they brought in John Cena, and it's basically like, that's Vin Diesel's brother. And then they're like, it's a whole, it's carrying the whole thing about family, family. But I love how in a world of superheroes, they figure out how to keep staying on the level of excitement with those movies. And I just love how they're like ridiculous. Like, he's driving, they're like, we're not going to make it. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I got something. And then he just hits the thing and slingshots himself. And I'm just like, that is the biggest bullshit ever, but it's awesome.
He hits the damn nos. He goes, there you go. She goes, down. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm like, and then all you see is him hit the thing. I'm like, there's no way in hell he's going to make it for in the real life, man. It goes, wah!
And then, and I'll say this right now, 5-second spoiler warning for people who have not watched the trailer. If there's people out there who are like, oh, I don't want to watch the trailer, I just want to go in the movie cold. So 5-second spoiler warning for a big plot thing that was at the end of the trailer. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Han showing up at the end of the trailer. I love that character.
Me too. One of my favorites too. Have you seen the original thing that the producer actually made? The movie Better Luck Better Luck Tomorrow, I think it is. That he produced.
Oh the Justin Lin, one of his first movies that he did that had Han, the actor who plays Han in it. Yeah.
And take a guess who it. He already said that character is that character from that movie.
He did?
Yeah.
So I wonder, so now here's the question. Now, do you think, so now with the idea that Han is back, do you think that Han faked his death? Like maybe he worked with Jason Statham's character and he purposely faked his death and Jason Statham was playing a bad guy the whole time, on purpose. And he was never really a bad guy.
I think so. And there's somebody bigger than Cypher. I think there's somebody like that. I already know. I already have a feeling there's something bigger than Cypher. Yeah, bigger than Cypher.
Because you see, Helen Mirren, she plays Jason Statham's mom, and she's in the trailer. Yeah. And the thing is, everyone's been asking, justice for Han. But like Jason Statham is a good guy now. He's with The Rock in the spinoff thing. So you can't have Han kill Jason Statham or put him in jail because then you just ruin the whole sequel to the film he did with The Rock. So I have a feeling they're kind of like split it where it's like what you thought happened isn't what happened, and that Han was in it on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I I have a feeling it's gonna leave us on a cliffhanger. We think the Han, we think the Han thing is the big thing, but there's something way bigger towards the. I bet you anything. There's something way bigger towards the end.
I remember them saying that they had planned to do also a 10th film, and even though they're like, "Oh, this is the last film," I'm like, "Yeah, that's what you said about like 3 films ago."
No, we already said it's gonna go to 10 because originally it was only gonna go to 8 because Paul Walker promised 8.
He
promised 8 films, and then 2 more. So it's like to close off the story. That's what 10 is gonna do, is close everything off.
Could you imagine when you first saw? Think of this. When you first saw Fast and the Furious, like what, 2002 or whatever?
Actually, it was 99.
99. So 21 years ago, when you saw the first Fast and the Furious film, did you ever think to yourself, "Oh man, this is definitely going to lead to 10 films"?
Nope. Did not see that coming at all.
Ooh, nobody thought this was the film series that they switched it up in part 2, switched it up again in part 3, brought it back in part 4, and then it got better from there on out. It just kept the quality, kept getting better, and it kept growing the fan base. Like Universal Studios has to be like, it's their money, it's their Avengers, it's their superhero franchise.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just like, I love it. I love the series. Yeah.
So hold on, let me shout out the chat a little bit.
Cool.
What's up, Joe477? What's up, Two Brothers Comics? Those are the only 2 I could see, and William Sorales.
Hey, I've said hey to William before, but hey again. Joe, Two Brothers Comics. Always good to see people in the comments, people enjoying the show. But
I grew up on it, and it reminds me of good times with my mom, since my mom passed away and everything. That's why I like the Fast and the Furious movies. I know it's kind of stupid, but
no, that's why I watch. Point Break. I've been watching Point Break every year since like the early 2000s. But my dad was the one who introduced me to that movie when I was a kid, and it's like, I mean, he's in his 50s, so he's God willing, God, he's not going to die anytime soon for the next 30, 40 years. But when he does eventually pass way, way down the line, it's going to be one of those things that I remember most. That every time I turn on that movie, I'm going to remember. That's the great thing about cinema, when you share it with somebody else. It's that stuff that always carries on with you. And the Fast and the Furious films, which are ironically, it's about family, and you watch the movie with family.
Yeah, because I remember the first DVD she ever bought me was a Fast and the Furious 1. I remember that to this day. It was first ever DVD of my own she bought she actually gave me money for, was Fast and the Furious 1. That's the only reason I still watch it.
That's awesome. The first DVD I bought, it was so I grew up a military brat. So
you moved around a lot.
Yeah, so when we moved to Massachusetts, I think DVDs and DVD players started coming around 98, 99 in the US at least. So when we moved to Massachusetts, I got my first real job, because jobs I had before was, babysitting, dog walking, that type of stuff. This is my first where like you have to pay the government, taxes. And I remember, I think I was working, where was I working at? I think it was Blockbuster I was working at. And for those who don't know, Blockbuster was a store in which they rented movies out and video games and DVDs. It was heavenly, and it killed the mom and pop stores. And then when Blockbuster died, we cried because Blockbuster was dead. But
and then the thing before, like, but with Blockbuster, was Hollywood Video down here.
I used to go to Hollywood Video also. So I went to Hollywood Video when I came down here. In Massachusetts, they didn't have Hollywood Video. So when I worked at Blockbuster, I saved my money and I bought a DVD player, first DVD player, and my first movie I bought. I went to Circuit City. Again, another electronics store that does not exist. I went to Circuit City and I bought on DVD.
Best Buy killed them.
I went to Circuit City and I bought Lady Hawk, which is directed by Richard Donner and has Rutger Hauer, Michelle Pfeiffer, and so I bought that. I went home, I lived with my parents. I was like 18, going on 19. Plugged in the DVD player into the TV in the living room because my TV upstairs was too old, so I couldn't plug it in. Popped in the DVD, and the first time I saw that picture, I was like, this is the future of movies. You know?
And then you saw it, and now you see it in 4K. You're like, what the hell was I thinking back then?
What did you, when you first, because for me, when I first popped in that DVD and like, oh my God, you could like pause, pictures clear. You can you can go to different scenes. You can watch trailers. They used to have, before they started adding more and more, video type features. They used to have, like the little, like it would be like trailer, and then it would be like a texting where they talk about the movie and pictures and the isolated track where you could like watch the movie with just the score.
I remember.
What for you amazed you the first time you watched, the first time you got a DVD, the first time you put it in and watched it?
Where you could actually listen to the director talk about the movie. That's what surprised me the most. I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah, I remember watching VHSs, and you couldn't do that with the VHS. You know? So
it was rare. Like, I remember once going into a Suncoast Video, again, another store that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, yeah. I remember those. I bought my first I bought my first game system there, and it was a Sega Genesis from one of those.
That's awesome.
I remember that, too.
So Suncoast...
It was Tampa Bay. It was at the Tampa Bay Mall, too. You remember that?
So Suncoast, the Suncoast, I remember, would have, and it's rare, they would have VHS that were letterbox, so you get the widescreen,
Yeah.
Because if VHS would cut the corners.
Yeah.
So they would have the widescreen VHS, but it was rare. Like those weren't like everywhere. Like you had to pay a little more for them. And then sometimes they would have VHS where at the end of the movie, it would be like, at the end of the credits, it would go into like a behind the scenes thing where you got to watch a making of, and all this, all these things. And that's as best as you could get back then. Or you had to watch like a making of on TV, Yeah. You couldn't get it on a DVD and watch it whenever you want to watch and freeze and go watch it again. You had to you were at the whims of the TV gods.
Yeah.
But yeah, good times. It's funny to see where we've come in pop culture and in stuff that we love to now.
And now, look, we don't use DVDs no more. It's everything's digitally downloaded and everything else. We don't even. Yeah.
The funny thing is, to bring this back to comics, this reminds me of this. I was at Publix today, which, by the way, I've lived in Texas, California, New York, Massachusetts, Puerto Rico. I lived in a variety of places, visited all that. And Publix is the best supermarket in the world. Publix is the number one supermarket. But we were in there, paying for the stuff for the Super Bowl. And I turned to the magazine rack, and they had in the bottom corner kids novels, and they had two kids graphic novels they were selling.
Oh, shit.
One was from Scholastic,
and
I forgot who the other one was from. And supermarkets like Publix, they still have the Archie Digest, but on the when you go to pay your goods. But on the magazine rack is where they had they had a wall magazine rack. It was a secondary one, is where they had the graphic novels. And I was like, I looked at that and I was like, why can't there be a Marvel or DC graphic novel there for for kids or young adults or a regular Thor, you know what I mean? I'm like, you can't tell me we can't go back to the supermarkets when I'm seeing the big bookstores putting their stuff in the supermarkets. So don't tell me we can't go back. I don't know. That's something about comics that bums me. Like I love comic book stores. I think those should be the number one thing. But you can't tell me we can't go back to the supermarkets. It's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, man, it was like I remember not even going to the supermarket, going to the newspaper stand and buying my first comic. I remember that when I got my first couple of dollars, like $2 or $3, and I went to go buy. And my first ever comic was Carnage and Venom Unleashed. I remember, and I always thought that was an issue 1. And take a guess what issue it was. It was an issue 3. I've always thought that was issue 1. Then I go looking at since we can look it up now. I went to look it up. I'm like, I've always thought that was a damn issue 1. It's an issue 3.
That's what I love about when we were kids back then. We were just like, we didn't care what issue it was. We would just read it because we're like, this looks cool. Yeah. And I want to check it out.
The funny thing was, what got my attention was the cover was embossed. So that's what got my attention.
I remember going to, when I lived in the lower Miami area, I remember going to the pharmacy, and Randall is late. Hello, Randall.
Hello. What have I missed?
Oh man,
Talking about the Fast and the Furious trailer. Have you seen it?
Oh, the trailer. Yeah, I seen the trailer.
what'd you think?
What'd you think?
I mean, their trailers always look good, in my opinion. Like they always look entertaining. Like they make you. The whole point of the trailer is that they want you to see this film. They want you to see the movie. And every
Did you
time
like
they make
the-
a trailer, I'm like,
Did
I
you
want to
guys
see
like
this
that
movie.
little live concert they did? The live concert they did for it, the reveal the damn trailer. Did you guys know they
I
had a
didn't bother with that. I didn't bother with that.
yeah?
But
They had a little live concert and everything too.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
see that. I just saw
Yeah.
the when the trailer. I saw someone post it.
I saw the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and here's the sad thing, right? Here's the sad thing. I've only seen the first 2 Fast and Furious films. And so it's like,
Randall's
So you
leaving this
don't even
chat.
know
Goodbye,
who-
Randall. It was nice
Bye.
knowing.
You don't know who Han, so you wouldn't know who Han was.
Well, I mean, Han. I mean, I've heard. Like, I know Han's from the Tokyo Drift.
But well, more than that, he was in 4, 5,
yeah,
and then 6. Because basically, the first, I think 4, 5, and 6 were prequels. Prequel stories. So they basically took place before Tokyo Drift.
Oh, okay.
Chronologically wise. So then after
Yeah.
that, in part 7, they they do the whole intro where Han dies, and then it links up in present day.
Okay.
They go back to Tokyo Drift in the beginning of part 7, and then etc.
Tokyo Drift.
etc. and etc. and etc.
I love Tokyo Drift, Karate Kid of car movies.
Yeah.
That's what what Vin Diesel just needs to. He needs to take one of the films back to Tokyo. He needs to take it to like.
No.
No,
but what I have a funny feeling either 10's gonna be in space because you already seen the trailer with the damn rocket or with the damn Pontiac with the damn rocket engine on it. So what's left?
Everyone's gonna have to team up and work together to fight aliens. Like, there you go.
God,
Well, you're the booster.
Hey, give me 1 second. You guys continue. I'll be right back. Quick second.
I got you.
No. Look, think about it. If they go to space and they bring in the aliens, boom, Will Smith joins the Fast and Furious franchise.
That won't be the first time.
People will watch it. People will watch it. Will Smith, aliens,
like
big
I
franchise.
said, like I was saying, everybody thinks the Han thing is the big reveal. I have a funny feeling the ending for this movie, there's a bigger ending than that to reveal. They're not going to reveal that until you guys go see it.
The whole that Han is there is
but it's
I mean for a movie that would be a big surprise, and for them to do that in the trailer, I mean, I don't know if it's because I don't know.
No, I have a funny feeling it's a red herring for the other person that that has what I'm not gonna say, but you guys already know.
I hope that John Cena is good in the film. I mean, like the fact that he's supposed to be the younger brother to Vin Diesel, it's a little.
I was curious. I actually looked up their ages.
Yeah,
Vin's like 50 something, and he's like Cena's like 40 something. So they're not that far. They're not that far away from you. You know what I know.
John Cena. When he first started acting movies, I didn't like his acting, but he's improved a lot when he stopped doing the movies that Vince was forcing him to do. Vince McMahon was forcing him to do, and he, decided to, wisely pick and choose his films. I think he's gotten, way better as an actor than he was before. And he's made a lot of great choices now.
Yeah, he's definitely funny. Like Marco, you and I saw that one movie. What was it, the Blockers?
Oh where he plays a parent.
Yeah, and he was definitely funny in that. Like I love there's a scene in that comedy, right? There's a scene where they're looking for their kids, and like apparently their kids like made a pact to lose their virginity or whatever, and he plays a dad, and his daughter is going to lose her virginity, and he's like he's trying to stop that from happening, and so they go to this hotel, and he's like breaking down every door, and there's one door that he breaks down where it looks like it's a cult. Yeah. And but he breaks down the door. They look like they're a cult, and he just looks at them all like weird, and he just yelled out, "Do sports," and then just like jumps out of the room. Dude, he was just hilarious.
He's gotten way better.
All right, Rando, did you see this? I know you guys saw pictures, but yeah. But you know how you know what? But you know what CGC had said on here? You want to hear what it says on here? It says signed by James Hahn and Lopan, because I'm guessing they recognize this as Lopan's head, but it's actually James Hahn's Cantonese name on here.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
pretty funny. I think that's funny because
Do you think it's an error?
it's an error, but I'm gonna keep it because it's a funny error because it goes signed by James Hahn and Lopan. It doesn't say.
You know what that
AK
means? That means somebody over at CGC has never seen Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh
Not
my
only
god,
They think Lopan is actually a person.
that is sad.
that-
I mean,
No, but not only that, but have you guys heard about the Todd McFarlane signing and how so many people had sent books in and that like some people already knew what their grades were, but they came down those things came back way lower. And have you watched that video where Todd was actually signing books and actually just tossing them around?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
dude,
Oh,
Like,
it'd be hilarious if Todd McFarlane dressed up as Bane and like literally just took people's books and made it look like he was like breaking the books, the spine, like yeah, and then afterwards signs it and he's like, there you go, good luck on that
But
9-8. Yeah.
but a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people have had 9.8s and they came back like 9.4s, 9.0s, and
Yeah.
if you look at them, you can tell where he didn't give a crap and actually put it right on top of the other book that they said he signed, and it smeared the hell out of.
I wouldn't be
gold ink.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised from Todd McFarlane's perspective. He's probably like, you guys are lucky that I'm even signing this book. Here.
I think
Oh.
it's whoever was facilitating the signing. That's their fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something you got to be watching out for. That's something you got to be dealing with. If, I don't know if Todd facilitates his own signing. So if he's working with another company, you got to be like, you got to be like, hey Todd, no, don't do that.
No,
Yeah, but I mean,
think-
like,
my
do you
thing
really
is,
want
I
to risk?
think they sent it to Todd. My thing is, I think they sent it to him, and then he sent them. You know what I mean? He had to send them back himself because maybe I'm thinking it went through like 4 to 5 hands at least to go to him, and then 4 to 5 hands coming back. So there's no way that you could have figured out where it actually got damaged. You know what I mean? It could have been on Todd's side. It could have been on CGC side.
It could be a conspiracy. It could be that CGC is just like no more 9.8s.
I'm gonna come on.
Ah, look at that.
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
What's up, man?
What's going on, dude? I'm just coming out for a second, bro. What's up, guys?
Hey,
Not much. Is it entirely?
Non-football fans, I see.
no, I watched until
Non-football fans.
about 5 before 10, and I was like, oh, Kansas has got this. And according to Google, they did get this, 31-20.
I didn't.
It was
know
a really
a
good
soccer
game, man. It was
I didn't know
actually
there
a
was
really
a soccer
good game.
on tonight.
Yeah.
Is there a soccer game on tonight?
Yeah, it was soccer. Yeah.
Yes,
Hey, nobody could
America's favorite
recognize-
pastime.
Nobody could recognize me. I don't have my hat on. I'm Hialeah. How you guys doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Look, I think the most important thing about that Super Bowl was getting to see Shakira dance.
All right.
Ass off.
It was.
Oh, the
Look, this is my buddy Randy.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Yeah,
Hey,
dude, it's
hey,
the butt
man.
off, and Shakira actually won that butt off, right?
Surprisingly, it was an upset
dude,
because J-Lo was favored by a touchdown on ass off.
that
And she won. She
I
won.
turned to my father and I said, "It's the battle of Shakira and J-Lo, and Shakira's booty is winning somehow."
Yeah,
Younger.
dude. Shakira took it.
younger.
Shakira took it.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys buy action figures and stuff like that?
I do not.
No.
I mean, if I have the money, but I don't have the money.
Yeah, Tim
He-
does.
he
I know that.
owns
Tim
a-
does.
Yeah. You want to say it?
Yeah, I have collectibles, prop replicas, manofactionfigures.com. You want
Okay.
to check it
Oh,
out?
cool.
Dude,
I love prop replicas. I like to try and get some from time to time.
Yeah, now I'm going to.
Man of Action
Wow.
Figures. You got to check it out. All right, do me for a
yeah,
second. We're gonna
Sweet.
sign off, right?
All right, cool.
Oh,
Okay.
See you later.
Good.
See you later, Elliot.
Later. I gotta check out this Man of Action figures later. I like prop replicas. Been wanting to try to get into like prop stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You saw, did you watch a little bit in the beginning where Tim actually popped in from the hospital?
He's in the hospital?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
What happened?
He said Randall did this to me. Get him.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. No,
Was it Glenn? Was it Nerd Out finally knocked him out?
No, man. It's his legs. You know about his legs. You know about the clot in his legs. Yeah. So it was his legs again. So that's all. Oh yeah. So he's in the hospital for a couple of days.
That sucks.
Yeah. He's gonna. Yeah. He chimed in for a couple of minutes. It was nice. It was nice to be able to see him and say what's up.
Okay, how much would you guys pay for Shatner's damn autograph? Because I looked it up. I just looked it up on the MegaCon thing. What would you pay for it?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, I mean, it's one of those questions. Like that's a question that you ask.
No, but I'll tell you if you guys are close. Just give me both of you guys. Just give me a price, and I'll tell you if you guys are even close to it.
Okay.
Okay.
The most I would pay personally, because again I'm cheap. The most it would have to be on something like an original Star Trek, 3 poster, because Shatner's signature on a DVD or Blu-ray or an action figure, I don't care. So it has to be original Star Trek 3 poster, with his signature on it, and I'd pay $150. That's the highest I'd pay. No higher. I like Shatner. I love original Trek, but it's just not. It's not that important to me. Go, Rando.
All right, my turn. Okay.
What do you think he's charging for?
Okay, look. Let's pretend that there's 2 Randalls that exist. Okay.
Okay.
There's a poor Randall, and then there's a rich Randall.
Okay.
Poor Randall would be able to, say, okay, $100 for a signature. Poor Randall. Rich Randall would say somewhere between 300 and 200.
Rich or poor Marco would only do 150. You're better than me.
You're like Randall got it because it's 100 for both. It's $200 for both, pretty much. It's for his photo op and for his signature. It's $100.
Oh, for signature only $100?
Yeah.
Oh, so I would get a signature then with Shatner.
Okay.
On Star Trek 3 poster?
Yeah. I'm just saying because if my thing is if the Asian guy and the other guys aren't charging as much, but he's charging $100, and then, but we don't know what the Lord of the Ring guys are charging. So, but that I see
probably more than 100.
Yeah,
probably like 150, 200.
Well, I think with Shatner, the thing is that I think he's probably the most expensive of all the Trek, is because he's the. I mean, yeah, there's people that like other captains better, like and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think he is. He's the you like Picard better, but he's the classic captain. He's the classic. The harkens back to the '60s, two-fisted. That's not. So him getting 100 makes sense because I don't think what's his name plays Picard. I don't think does he charge 100 for his signature.
I'm not even sure what he charges. I'm not even sure. I think he charges a little more than that. I think.
He's been in the X-Men films. He's done more bigger stuff than Shatner. Right. So, but if you take him out of the equation, and everybody else that's been in Trek, I don't think any of them charge anywhere near 100 because they're not.
I mean, you look at guys like Chris Evans, and you look at the actors from the Marvel films, and like Ben Affleck. Those guys, they charge like between $200 and $250, I think. And because they're in like the current mainstream big films,
which is true. But I have no need for Chris Evans' signature.
I totally get a signature for like a Captain America comic. I'd do it.
Would you do it on a Captain America 100? I don't think so.
Captain America 100?
Yeah, but
you mean like nah, probably not. It would have a book that I personally really like. You know, so I
Right,
would
right, right.
probably, I really liked Mark Waid's Captain America from when they did the Heroes Reborn, Heroes Return. That was like my first like real like jumping into reading Captain America comics. It would either be that or it'd be that Sentinel of Liberty miniseries, maybe the first issue. And I think it was like Kevin McGuire did the art on that, I think, or just Kevin McGuire. It was beautiful art, beautiful art. I specifically remember issue 4 because I had that as a kid, and I remember I was blown away by the art and the way the Red Skull looked. I was just like, oh, this looks so badass. This looks like the detail and the realism to it. I was just like, oh, this is awesome. So that was like one of the few like comic books I remembered as a kid. It was that Captain America issue, and yeah, I mean, it would either be the Captain America #1 that Mark Waid did, and I think was it Ron Garney did the art, I think, or
Yep, Ron Garney.
yeah.
All right. Would you guys, Reading Rainbow guys coming to MegaCon. Why can't I remember?
You're talking about Jordy.
Yeah,
Jordy.
LeVar Burton. Yeah, so LeVar Burton's coming. But what would you get him to
Sure.
sign? Would you get him to sign something Star Trek, or would you get something to sign like the Reading Rainbow stuff? What would you get?
You know what? I know that my favorite thing about Reading Rainbow, of course, is the theme song, the song. When you hear that song, you know, it just channels your inner child. But I always liked him better in Star Trek. So I would have him sign something Star Trek.
I grew up on Reading Rainbow, so I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? So
I
grew up on both. So I grew up on both, but I don't know.
I have no interest in him signing anything Star Trek. I love his character on there, but no interest. So it'd probably be Reading Rainbow, just because I remember Reading Rainbow fondly as a kid, watching that show a lot. So that would probably be my thing. And plus, I think a lot of people would have him sign Star Trek, so to have him sign Reading Rainbow might be different.
Yeah, we could get away with it at school for watching it. Yeah. But we could get away with it because the teachers would always show Reading Rainbow. I remember we would always watch Reading Rainbow, and I'm like, okay.
I remember Reading Rainbow as a kid.
But you watch a lot of Star Trek, I'm assuming.
No, actually, that too. No, I mean, I did watch like Deep Space Nine, just because it was like really late at night and there's nothing else to watch on TV. So I was just like, I would watch the occasional Star Trek episode here and there. Never really quite understood the content. Like I was just more into like action. Like I want to see action. I want to see stuff going on. You know.
He's more the person turn off his brain and watch action movie type, like all the 80s people.
But I mean, over the years, you know, the smarter I've gotten, the more wiser I've become. I understand more of the content and appreciate Star Trek so much more than I did as a kid. You know,
I remember.
Roots! I forgot. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
I remember when DS9 premiered. This was like 92, 93, and I remember going to spend the night at a friend's house to watch the premiere. We got pizza. We went to Blockbuster because I was staying like Friday, Saturday. He lived in the same apartment complex as me, and I remember we went, got the food, got the movies. We were gonna watch DS9, and then I got the flu that night, and I was in and out of sleep, like watching DS9. I remember because the first episode of DS9, they flash back to the Next Generation stuff when Picard is aboard.
Okay.
So I remember like drifting in and out of sleep, being like, are we watching Next Generation? And then boom, knocking back out again.
Yeah, I forgot he was in Roots too, man. So you could have him sign a bunch of stuff. Something from Roots, something from Reading Rainbow.
The only way I would have him sign something with Roots if he signed it as Toby.
I would not. I would not.
I wonder.
Bad joke.
I'm wondering. Yeah. Wasn't it a book first? Wasn't Roots a book first?
Yes.
Or was it a movie? Okay.
Yeah. I've only, you know what's funny? I think I've only seen bits and pieces of Roots. You know, I don't think I've actually seen all of Roots.
But you guys want to hear something funny? The first time I ever saw Roots was in high school, I think. Well, I think it was
Yeah,
a
yeah. Oh,
history
yeah. They
teacher
would
that
show
showed it
that
to
like
me.
in school. They would show it in like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I don't know if it was like middle school or high school. They would show it in, and I think
Yeah, I
like
remember.
I was in school when they were showing it, but like they never something happened where they didn't finish it. You
Right.
know,
Yeah,
so like
I
they only
remember
showed
that
like
too.
maybe the first half of Roots, and I was just
I've only
like,
seen the. I think I've seen a little bit of the third half of it, but I've seen. I remember watching like at least two. I know I watched at least
Mm.
two parts of it.
yeah, yeah. I wonder if they would remake that.
I think they already did,
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah, I think they did. Yeah,
Did they?
Yeah, let me go look it up. Hold on.
I think they
If I
did.
don't know, I'm just gonna be like, what? Yes, it looks like there's a 2016.
I told you. I had a feeling they did.
Yeah, there was a 2016. No, wait, hold on. It's maybe something else. Give me a second here.
Okay.
I got nope. History Channel. History Channel did a 2016 miniseries remake.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing something like that. Yeah, I remember seeing like
No
like
one is
maybe the
talking
first part
about
of it.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe the first part of it.
Yeah, I had already seen parts. I'd already seen some of it when I was a kid. I don't think I
Yeah.
saw it in school. I think it might have been on TV with my parents when they were watching
yeah.
it. When they were watching it on TV because it first premiered in '77, so I wasn't even born. But when they would show it again, TV event, like the classic Roots, and they would show like old stuff again.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Do you
remember
think
there was one time where they showed Color Purple and they showed Roots. I remember one time where they on TV they showed the Color Purple first, and then they showed the
Yeah.
the Roots right after. I'm like,
I haven't even seen the
Oh.
Color Purple.
I've
I
seen
haven't
it.
seen that one either.
I saw it once. It's
Yeah, me too.
it's like Amistad. It's a once watcher where you look at it and you say this is a fantastic film, and then you don't ever watch it again. I'm not Amistad.
Yep.
Schindler's List, where you like watch it once
Oh yeah, Schindler's List.
because you're like it's a beautiful, painful,
Yeah.
movie.
Well, I
and
remember
then,
I remember my brother like sitting me down and like also as a kid, like maybe a teen, somewhere between kid and teen, kid and teen, preteen or whatever. But I remember my brother like I guess gosh, what network was showing it? Probably NBC maybe. Or maybe ABC. I'm not 100% sure, but they were like there was a special television screening of that film, and my brother was like, "You have to sit down and watch this film. You have to." And so I sat down, I watched it. I'm 100% sure that I didn't appreciate the film as a film. Like I just watched it so like because of the whole historical importance of what happened in that film. So I do eventually want to go back and actually rewatch the film now because now I'm not that preteen, I'm not that kid anymore. I'm a person that actually understands content and understands more of the conversations and details of what transpired in that film.
The only Oscar she won, I think, right? I've never seen her win another Oscar though. I don't think.
yeah,
Oprah won an Oscar?
yeah, Color Purple. I think it was for the Color Purple. I should go look it up.
I thought she was just nominated. I don't know if she won.
Let me see.
I thought she did win. Oh,
I'll find out in a second thanks to the power of the internet.
Yeah.
yeah.
For a second, I thought that.
She got it for Best Supporting Actress, The Color Purple.
Oh, so she did win. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. See, we taught Randall something.
It looks like she also won one for as a producer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
For
So
Selma
he got,
for a 2014
so
film.
he got two.
Yeah.
So he got two. What's
Nice.
up, Great Legend? Yep. The Great Legend from the comic book community. What's up, Great Legend? Yeah. Yeah,
So,
man. So.
Yeah, there's still like so many movies out there I need to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You do
Like Sandlot?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Sandlot. So we can
I've seen The
make a
Sandlot.
list that some movies that. Oh, okay.
I've told Randall like there's a list of movies that like he needs to watch. Like it's literally, some movies. There's movies I'm like, okay, I can understand why you haven't seen that one. But then there's some movies that I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get how you didn't see this movie.
I think if Marco could, sometimes he's just giving me a look like, how have you not seen this film? Like I feel like he would turn into like Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince, and then I would turn into Jazz. And then, like he would like literally pick me up and throw me out of the house just because I haven't seen that movie.
It's true.
It's
true.
Yeah.
Make sure the door's Marco. Make sure that door's open. Okay, if it's closed, don't close.
He's like, you haven't seen Scarface.
Nah, I'm fine if you don't see Scarface. I'm not a really big fan of Scarface.
Okay.
Godfather.
Oh, Godfather, awesome. Love Godfather.
Yeah, have you watched The Godfather?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident I've seen the majority of it.
Okay.
So the first one only.
No, like there was like a marathon going on, and I know that I was paying attention to most of the film. I think I was going back and forth like on my smartphone, so I know I wasn't paying attention to all of it.
Was it a marathon of the movies, or was it just The Godfather? That it was like
the marathon of the movies.
Well, no, the reason I asked this is because back in the day, I think in the 90s, they came out with the Godfather miniseries, which is basically what they did was Francis Ford Coppola took all three movies and he rearranged them in chronological order and made a miniseries for television. So that's my favorite version of The Godfather, actually.
I think HBO was just like playing all three movies, and they caught me on the day off where I was kind of just bored, and like I think at first it was like playing in the background, but then I got like sucked into it, just watching a young Al Pacino,
Yeah. What was it?
Don't play any music in the background, Jeff, or it's gonna.
I'm not.
The video's gonna suddenly go down.
Yeah. What I was saying. Did you watch the Super? Oh no, Randall wasn't home, so he couldn't watch the Super Bowl commercials. Did you? Did you see
I mean, I've seen like the Groundhog Day commercial. Probably the best commercial, I think.
No, I'm saying, did you watch the Disney Plus commercial and did you see the WandaVision stuff?
I haven't seen the clips.
It's good.
Yeah. I'm sure it's good. It looks good.
They showed what's her name in the classic Wanda costume.
Yeah. I saw like a little people were already posting images.
Right.
And,
okay. But for next week, at least watch the first episode of Lock and Key. Or you don't got Netflix, I forget.
Yeah. Is Lock and Key already out?
No, I think it's this Friday.
Next week. This Friday, next week. Yeah,
next Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have Netflix by then.
Yeah. So we can talk about it at least.
So with the Super Bowl, to me, the best commercials were two. Well, actually three. So it was the Disney Plus commercial, the commercial that introduces the Super Bowl, because it was a commercial where this kid is playing football, his friend gets the ball, and then a football player tells him, "Take it to the house," and then he's running and dodging, "Take it to the house, take it to the house, take it to the house," and then at the end of the commercial, the group of kids that are in the commercial, they run out into the field on the stadium for real. Like the commercial cuts into the actual game.
Oh,
that was awesome. And then the third best one. Well, no, sorry, it's actually four. The one, the Bill Murray, and then the final one, the Jason Momoa commercial. The Jason Momoa commercial is freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Well, we knew he was a comedic type of guy, anyways. When you see him actually talk to people, and he's actually a jokester, you know what I mean?
Oh,
if you see him at cons,
I thought he was great on SNL. Like I love when he did like a advertisement for SNL, and like the guy's like, "Oh no!" Like this guy was like an NBC page, and he's like, "Oh no, I gotta go take care of something." Hey, man, the pages, and then you see like Jason Momoa like, okay, and so he answers the phone, and he's like, "Hello, I will get that information for you hold on, I'll be right back. And like you see him, he's like rushing, and somebody's like, hey Jason, I got an idea for a skit, and he like, there's no time, and he punches the person and knocks him out. There's no time, you know. And then like he and all it was the person was asking like, you know, what time does Saturday Night Live start? You know, it was like something so minor, so stupid, but like he took it so seriously, and you see him like just like throwing people out of his way and punching people, and he's just like, there's no time. Kicking down Lorne Michaels' door, you know, it was just like it was pretty funny.
So a thing, I know you don't watch the CW superhero shows, Jeff, but there was a.
No, I do.
You do?
I watch.
Okay. Did you watch Arrow?
Did you watch the? Yeah, I watched the last episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you guys think? What did you think?
Randall hasn't watched. Wait, have you watched it yet, Randall?
No.
You haven't watched it yet? I already told him what the ending was. The thing was, anyways. So.
But it's a spoiler, so I don't know if our viewers have seen it.
So if
spoiler,
spoilers. 5-second countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I told Randall this. So the scene where John Diggle gets the ring.
Yeah.
Dude, that was.
I lost my shit.
Like, I liked that episode. It was so good. But like I wasn't expecting it. Like when he's giving the speech and he's like talking about the past and the present and the future, and he's like, you know, it'll take us to other worlds, you know. And then the meteor crashes, and I was like, holy shit, Abin Sur. But the great thing was, it wasn't Abin Sur. So it basically tells you that there's still Hal Jordan out there. So basically, you know, he's not, you know, it's great because it gives you this whole thing like, yeah, there's still Hal Jordan, and now he's stepping up as being, you know, John Stewart, the second, you know, Green Lantern of Earth. And it's just like, you know, not counting Alan Scott because, you know, technically it was magic, and then it's not magic. And it got, you know, the wood, and then, you know, the whole wood. Yeah, the whole.
You know, it's funny. Just hearing you speak about like Hal Jordan, like I had this like image, like just this random thought that hit me. And I was like, you know, it'd be really cool, is if they made a green pair of Air Jordans, but then like they like, you know, changed the logo a little bit, and so like instead of like a basketball, maybe he's holding a lantern. Or like, you know, or he's just, you know, shooting like a green beam from his hand or whatever, and it'd be like Jordans, you know, like green Air Jordan.
That would be cool. But yeah, him getting the box, you know, going down, opening the box, and then the light. I was like, I can't wait because I wonder if it's going to carry on to the other shows because he's supposed to be on Flash.
No, he's supposed to be on Metropolis, the Superman, the new Superman show. What I hear, the rumor is he's gonna be the Green Lantern or something like that in that show or something like that. Supposedly, that's the rumor.
But here's the thing: I know he's appearing on Flash on Tuesday. The new episode of Flash coming on Tuesday.
Right.
Diggle's gonna be on there, so I wonder if they're gonna talk about if he's gonna mention like, I found this ring, Barry. Can you guys look at it?
Could the CW be bold enough to say, screw it? Diggle's going to get his own spin-off series.
No, I'm not yet. I don't think they want to piss off the higher ups. I think, like Jeff said, they're going to explore him coming into Green Lanternness, and then he's going to appear. He's going to appear.
He's on the Metropolis right now. That's where he's moving to.
So he's going to appear. He's going to appear. He's going to appear in Superman, and then I think if the HBO Max Green Lantern show does, you know, well, then they'll be like, oh well, we need one on CW also. You know, then they'll maybe give him his own show.
Crossover. Yeah. I think they're going to introduce him at the crossover as Green Lantern. Like, the next crossover is when they introduce him as Green Lantern.
I sometimes tell Marco, like, I'm like, anytime like a crossover happens and we see how awesome that crossover is, I immediately, my brain is already working, thinking like, how can they top this? What can they do in the next one that they haven't done yet? You know, and I remember telling Marco at one point, I was just like, we got to throw in Green Lantern. You know, like before they actually threw in Superman for the crossover, which was I think 2 crossovers ago. I was just like, the next crossover's got to have Superman. And then when they announced like, oh, Superman's going to be a crossover, I was like, you know, like yes. You know, thinking like what's going to be in the next one?
I think the next crossover, because supposedly they're taking a break this fall, because they wanted to take a break for a while, and then they had to do Crisis, so they're going to take a break this year. But I think next year might be 0 Hour, because there's all this fallout. There's multiple characters from Dead Earths showing up. In the Prime universe. Everyone in the Prime universe thinks the multiverse is dead, but it's not. So do we know from watching Crisis that the multiverse is still alive, but they don't know it. So I think 0 Hour is the logical step, and introducing Hypertime. Because Hypertime is such a great concept.
I've heard rumors that the 52 storyline is where they want to go. Like, they want to follow what Lex is doing. Like, because what's his name, playing Lex Luthor, he did such a great job in the Crisis crossover, and he's really making Lex like a fun villain, like a fun character for the whole CW series. So like, I never finished reading 52, so I don't know the importance. I don't know how big of the story that Luthor plays in 52, but whatever that is.
If you want to borrow the omnibus, I have the omnibus.
I can order the trades.
I don't remember. Here's the thing: he plays a role, but if I remember correctly, in the end, it's not important, because at the end of 52, it's Booster Gold fighting what's his name from Shazam, the Worm.
Oh,
Mr. Mind. Mr. Mind mutates because Mr.
Yeah.
Mind is devouring. He's devouring like hypertime or multiversal energy.
Okay.
And he starts becoming more and more powerful. And I'm going by memory here, but I know the end fight is Booster Gold and Mr. Mind.
Well,
what happened?
I can always grab the omnibus and take a look.
But the repercussions of that fight births the 52 universes.
Right.
It's because, remember, New 52 came after Infinite Crisis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and Infinite Crisis brought back the multiverse.
Yeah. So that one, so basically 52 was basically explaining how the 52 universes came into being. It's really good. It's so good. But like, you can't do 52. I mean, as a miniseries, that was like 52 issues. Like,
yeah, I think they would like, whatever characters, because there was like several characters that were kind of like the main characters of the story. So like, you would have to cut out those characters. I think they would be following Luther's side of the story.
And it doesn't work without Booster Gold, because that was one of the greatest Booster Gold stories of all time.
Hey, maybe Booster Gold will be finally appearing.
In my dreams, okay? He hasn't been around since Smallville.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. I mean, he's been around like in some of the animated series, like he was in Justice League Action.
That don't count, man.
They even mentioned in the final Arrow episode Ted Kord Industries. I'm like, oh, why don't you bring Ted Kord around?
Yeah.
So, and the funny thing is, Rip Hunter was the leader in the first season of the Legends, and yet they still haven't brought in Booster. I'm just like, come on, man. Like, give it to us already. We want that Booster Gold.
It still bugs me though that Rip Hunter was British, and it's like,
that doesn't bother me. I mean, Professor X isn't British, and he was British in the X-Men movies.
Why didn't they retcon that though?
In the comics?
Yeah.
They retconned him being Irish, because isn't the other guy Irish or something like that?
Who
the actor that plays him, isn't he Irish?
Picard?
No, he's talking about James McAvoy. And James McAvoy, he's Scottish, but
right. So the
Scottish people can sometimes, like him as an actor, he can pass off a British accent.
I'm just joking around. I think they switched it around where now he's Scottish, and now Professor X is Scottish.
So it doesn't bother me that Rip is it's an easy fix. Booster put his son in a British orphanage. Boom, done. You know what I mean? It doesn't. The only thing that I didn't like, I love the actor who played Rip Hunter, because he's from Doctor Who.
Right.
But my thing that I didn't like about his Rip Hunter is that great. When Rip Hunter appears, he's the total opposite of his dad. Like, his dad is this goofy guy who with New 52 becomes a little more serious, takes a little more responsibility.
Yeah.
But Rip Hunter, he's the classic two-fisted action hero.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
Almost like a pulp hero.
yeah, he looks like a pulp hero.
Yeah.
And so when you see Rip Hunter in the show, I'm like, okay, not, and he doesn't really do like, he's not really like punch first, ask questions later type guy.
Yeah, he's
Right.
definitely not. I think the reason they went after that actor was a combination of like, well, we're doing a time travel series, and we're taking a character who's from a time travel series. We're taking an actor who played in the series. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
So keep it going, guys. I'm gonna be right back.
Okay. So this is the Randall and Marco hour. So this is our show now.
the brave and the bold.
Shh, wait, wrong way. But yeah. Anyways, so when you catching up on the DC shows, man?
Hopefully later this year. Hopefully.
I gotta catch up. I gotta finish Titans season 2.
Yeah, me too.
And then I need to watch actually Swamp Thing. I haven't watched that. I gotta finish Young Justice.
Nope, I'm
then-
caught up on Young Justice.
And then actually tonight I'm gonna watch. I think I'm like 2 episodes behind on Harley, so I'm gonna watch those Harleys later tonight.
I'm 1 episode behind, just the one that aired this past Friday.
And then I think that's about it. I'm not sure, because my thing is I wasn't liking that I didn't think they were gonna ever show in Krypton. What's his name? The pulp hero. We got the jetpack. I didn't ever think they were going to show him in his costume, so I kind of like, I'll just wait until they put it up on Netflix or whatever and finish watching it.
Which one? Oh, the Krypton series?
Yeah, so they canceled it after the first season. So now,
Yeah, they canceled after the second season.
Yeah, second season. So I may go back and watch it just to see if he ever, at least puts on the.
Oh, dude, I heard
costume.
the second season. I heard the second season was so awesome. Like, and it sucks too, because it's like when you have a really good season and then the show doesn't get picked up, it's a real big bummer. Like I heard like the guy who played Lobo did a great job. They were even talking about they were even hyping it up to the point where Lobo was going to get a spinoff. I don't know what happened with Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi was like gung ho about making comic book TV shows, and then all of a sudden, left and right, they were like cancel.
Well, I think what it is since the problem nowadays is there's too much splintering in TV viewership. So every channel is getting less and less ratings.
Yeah.
So the thing with Sci-Fi, if they don't own the show, if they don't have a monetary stake in it, then they make less money. So they can't be like they can't say, oh well, this is because they have to depend on commercial money. They can't depend on licensing, DVD, Blu-ray sales, none of that.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately that's what it comes down to. And with Krypton, they ain't getting none of that pie that DC's getting.
The sad thing about Sci-Fi too was they're owned by NBC, and NBC is just notorious for canceling. So like same goes for Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi just cancels up all these wonderful shows. It's like like Deadly Class. I didn't get a chance to watch that. I heard it was good. Didn't get picked up for a second season, and it was done by the Russo brothers. That's the craziest part. Like the Russo brothers, they deliver gold.
Here's the thing with Deadly Class, and I love that comic book, but it's not really sci-fi. Like a School of Assassins, that's not really Sci-Fi Channel. You know what I mean? Like if they had if it was
even the Sci-Fi Channel doesn't have sci-fi in it.
If it was like the future,
look how it's spelled,
and it took place in the year 2500, and they were a School of Assassins, then I'd be like, okay. But I could see why that show got canceled.
I would say Umbrella Academy was probably like more closer for a sci-fi series than Deadly Class.
But I think they're going back to old sci-fi because they got I just saw the trailer not yesterday, like 2 days ago for Resident Alien.
Okay.
Which is based on the Dark Horse comic book, and it's got what's his name, the actor from Firefly, the pilot, the blonde one.
Oh, Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk is playing the main character who's an alien from another planet who lives in a small town, in the U.S.
Dude, Alan Tudyk, he's got to be a fan. He's got to be a fan of the genre of the characters because this dude is constantly making
Oh,
comic
because
related.
even if he's not, it's a smart move because he knows
Yeah,
like
the
he'll
fan-
get invited to conventions. You
yeah.
know,
Well, dude, he even did his own sitcom. Like he produced and made it and wrote it and
I always
starred in
wanted
it.
I always wanted to watch that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it ever got
I
released
know,
on DVD though.
Well, I remember talking to the one guy that was like running his booth because he wasn't even at the convention, but he still had a booth to kind of like promote the series. And so I remember talking to the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, we have like the original Blu-ray copies, but he's like, but those are going to disappear because Lionsgate bought them out, or is going to be distributing for them. So they, they have. I think Lionsgate has the rights to it, but either way, it's available on Blu-ray. So down the road, when I have money, when I become Rich Randall, no, before Rich Randall, even if I just have a little bit of money, I hope to get that series."
Yeah, I need to then watch Krypton to see what that is. Because I need to catch up. I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes of the first season.
William, was that season 2 or season 1?
But I just want to see Adam Strange in the costume. That's all I really want to see. Which,
well, I mean, there's also the Adam Strange. No, it's Strange Adventures, right?
But he's going to be in it. I think it's. I don't know if it's an anthology show or if it's a show that he's going to be in. I don't know. All I know is he is going to be in Strange Adventures.
And it's going to be HBO Max, right?
Yeah. So I'll either get HBO Max or I'll wait until the show comes on, then get HBO Max for a month, then cancel.
Yeah.
I
mean, HBO Max sounds like it's going to have a lot of content. I mean, they better after spending like what, $1 or $2 billion.
Well, Gremlins isn't coming on until next year.
Huh?
Gremlins, the animated series, isn't coming on until next year.
2021. Yeah, I saw that.
So that's not going to be, and I don't think Strange Adventures and Green Lantern are going to be this year.
No,
I think that's going to be next year.
All the big content that they've announced, that's not coming until 2021.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to have at launch. I mean, at least Disney Plus had The Mandalorian. You know?
Mm.
Oh, you know what they'll probably put on there is Doom Patrol.
Well, yeah, but I can get that on, DC Universe, and I'd rather support DC Universe app than support HBO Max.
Yeah,
you know?
me too.
Randall, what do you think's gonna happen if the HBO Max thing takes off? Do you think all that DC stuff that's on that thing is gonna move to the HBO Max thing?
I don't think so. I don't think so because DC Universe's biggest thing also is their comic book library.
Right.
And I'd say at least a little over 50% of the people that have DC Universe, they get it specifically to read the DC comics digitally.
So
when you go on like the community forums, like a lot of people talk about the comic books, and they're actually they have over 20,000 comic books on that site, and then they're constantly adding new comics every week for people to read digitally. And
they told Randall that they have a 5-year plan, and then after that, the decision is made whether it keeps going or doesn't. I think after the 5-year plan, it's going to get canceled.
We'll see. I mean, I think HBO Max is going to do the. I think they're going to do the bundle deal. They'll say, hey, get HBO Max and DC Universe, and you get both.
My only thing is, I don't care.
Everything needs to be bundled now because that's way too many freaking streaming services you're going to be paying for. Because if you think about it, that's $8 a month for every. You know what I mean? $8, $7. You know what I mean? That adds up.
Well, HBO Max is supposed to be like $15.
But you know what I mean. But you understand what I mean. Like it's going to be, way. You know what I mean? It's going to cost us way more just to just to start streaming stuff. They should have one thing that actually has everything on it where you don't have to worry about paying for
I've actually had this idea. I've had this idea where it's very similar to cable. Like I feel like there's going to be a company that's going to come around. They're going to offer a box, and the box is basically going to be like it's basically almost like Roku, almost like it, but they're going to have some kind of exclusive deal with all of the streaming services, and say, hey, you buy our box, and you get all of the streaming services for this price per month. Like basically like a cable. Like it's going to be cable reborn, but it's going to be through the internet.
Or it's gonna be like the Xbox Live and all that other stuff. It's the same thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I
It's
mean,
like,
that's already going on right now. That's already going on. Xbox.
This is what I think is going to happen, and I think it's that you're going to see bundles. But I also think is that what's going to happen is these streaming networks are going to realize, or they're going to come to a conclusion that they can't make money just on subscription, and so they're going to offer you a advertisement option, which meaning like it's either free, but you have to watch ads, or it's dirt cheap, but you have to watch ads. You know, because all these streaming things are going to get to the point where they cost $12, $15, $20 each. They're not going to, you know, that's going to get to that point. Disney can't keep that low forever when they're spending $10 million an episode on The Mandalorian.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
I mean,
what's going to
the biggest thing these other streaming sites will be able to do that Netflix doesn't do, merchandising and also syndication rights. You know, so imagine like, and it's already happening. DC streaming, okay, is only available here in the United States. So if you live like, you know, in Europe, you live in another country, and you're like, hey, I want to watch Titans. Titans is available on Netflix overseas. You know? So
but basically, Netflix makes money from the people who subscribe to watch that stuff. So it helps Netflix. But with
but Netflix pays them.
But Disney Plus plans to go global, so that basically cuts out that you're not going to. There's no syndication when people can watch on your app. You know, you need to make money. Netflix has already proven that the straight up subscription model doesn't work, and not every Disney show can be merchandisable. Yeah. So you're gonna lose money at some point, and you're gonna need advertising.
Yeah.
You know.
When I say merchandising, when they create a show like The Mandalorian, you know that Disney's going to make a shit ton of money off of Baby Yoda.
Or
this,
the WWE, network, right?
Yeah.
This is the best thing to bring up because the WWE network, you pay for the pay-per-views, and sometimes the pay-per-views don't even work.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
the brilliant thing about these streaming sites also is the constant flow of income. It's direct income coming directly to them, money from people, you know. And so, like, the more people who view, the more people who watch, the more of that flow of money that's constantly coming.
But then the more you got to spend to make those shows. Just look at Netflix is the example. I think the best model is to offer subscription and then subscription and commercials, or just free and commercials, because then you can make money off commercials.
Hulu. That's Hulu. Hulu gives you the cheap bundle, and you get commercials.
The Peacock. When the Peacock comes out, they're going to be making that free, right? And then,
there's going to be a free version, and then I think there's going to be a version of less commercials, but it costs like $5, and then there's going to be a version of no commercials.
Yeah.
CBS.
And costs $20. Yeah.
I was watching the CBS app yesterday, and there was a commercial for an Apple Plus show on the CBS app. Yeah. That's the thing. CBS is like, we'll take your money. We don't care. That's the thing. To say no to like money, you know, when you got to spend so much on TV shows.
I feel like CBS All Access is really, really struggling, because I can't tell you how many times they've sent me an email saying, "Hey, you get another free trial. You get another free trial."
Hulu does it all the time. Hulu offers like you can get.
Well, but Hulu has way more content. But
the thing is, what CBS has is they get to make a lot of their shows are first on the CBS channel, so they make all the money there. The CBS app is all the extra money. The only thing that costs them the most money is Star Trek.
Yeah,
the only thing. Like they're not paying a lot of money for the one cop show that's a CBS original.
Yeah, the No Activity.
Yeah, they're not paying a lot for that TV show.
No, I mean, like the most money they're putting in, of course, is Star Trek. That's their big, thing. But here's the sad thing, though, right? Like some of the TV shows that they have on there, like Big Bang Theory. I don't even think they have all the seasons of Big Bang Theory on there.
Because I don't think they own the Big Bang Theory. Isn't that an NBC show? Warner Brothers. See? Yeah.
Yeah, and Big Bang Theory will be on HBO Max.
Yeah, but the thing with CBS is they don't need to be as big as Netflix. CBS wants to be the alternative for the older people. They want to be the alternative for the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70-year-olds
Yeah.
that want that. You know, they're like, oh, I don't want cable, but I want to watch my shows like
Deadlock.
like Hawaii Five-0 or Magnum PI or MacGyver. They want to be able to watch that.
Yeah.
So that's the alternative. You know, the old style shows.
Sure.
They just need to be that good. They don't need to be better than
I mean,
Netflix.
The sad thing is I feel like CBS All Access, it's only worth maybe signing up for like 1 month, once a year.
I watch.
Get on there for 1 month, watch as much content, and be like, okay, I'm done.
I watch everything there. I watch Hawaii Five-0 through there. I watch Magnum PI through there. I watch sitcoms there like Abishola and Mom and Neighborhood.
You have way more free time than I do.
I do not. I just know how to schedule my time.
No.
You should learn from the master.
No.
What are you talking about? Your other job ends tomorrow, so you can't even make that excuse. You have 3 days off a week, son.
Mm-hmm.
You still have more free time than me. But
what are you talking about?
Thing.
What are you talking about? You just go home, lay on the bed, and you're like, okay.
Rest. That's what I'm doing.
Instead of being on that phone on social media, you could just be laying on to watching TV.
Hey, I have been watching a lot of Gargoyles. I'm like almost done with the series.
That doesn't count. That's old, man. You got to watch some new stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to get my money's worth from Disney Plus. You know. Speaking of which, Disney Plus added the Marvel Superhero Squad TV series, the cartoon series. I don't know if you remember that. It was like really geared more towards kids, but it was like supposed to be like a funny Marvel cartoon series.
Oh yeah, I have no interest in that. That's like the Transformers one they did, where they're all chunky. They the Marvel
the animated, yeah.
They did one for kids that was for the little kids. That was Transformers.
That series too. Yeah. No, this one's better than that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's actually some really funny like you see like the Hulk, literally like in a truck, like with wearing a sombrero, and I guess like they gave him a ride or whatever. There was like a mariachi band in the back of the truck, and he was like hanging with them, and they gave him a ride to fight. Looks like I froze. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Random, there he goes. Now he's moving.
So I mean, they just do
like
they do stupid like little funny things like that, and like Doctor Doom is like the main villain of the series, and you actually get to see like all the Marvel characters. You get to see some of the X-Men, like Wolverine's on the Superhero Squad show, and so you see him like in the pilot. You see him, and he's like he jumps on like the Hulk's back, and he's like, "All right, let's go." And you see like the Hulk jump off the plane, and like it's meant to be like it was like the beginning of like the funny cartoons. I think you know how they made these awesome like action comic book, like Young Justice, like they make these action TV shows, and then they transition from like, oh, hey, you know what? Kids like to laugh, kids like humor, so now we're going to start making funny cartoon shows. And I feel like Marvel Superhero Squad was like the first of it. It was before Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, Teen Titans Go is not the greatest.
I love Teen Titans Go.
That was good.
I mean, I like the old school one from the 90s.
The old school was better, but the great thing about the Teen Titans Go is you have the original voice cast from Teen Titans, and there are some really funny episodes in there. There are some episodes in Teen Titans Go where they do basically some Animaniac style humor, where I'm like, how the hell did they get away with that? The innuendo and the there's even some episodes they get dark where it's like, whoa, that went dark. Even like the Teen Titans Go, the animated movie, like we watched that, and it was entertaining. It was enjoyable, when they had Slade Wilson and everyone's like, Slade. It's just fun, It's like I get like people are like. Right. Don't stop ruining my childhood. Like I know, like the whole Thundercats cartoon, like the Thundercats Roar. My thing with Thundercats Roar, it's not funny. I tried to watch it, and I was like if it was funny, I would be down with it. I'd be like, oh yeah, watch Thundercats Roar. It's hilarious. Because I'll watch a funny take on Thundercats. Like I don't need it to be serious. Yeah. Like I like making fun of stuff I watched when I was a kid. So, but
I watched that and I was just like, this isn't funny at all. It's like
You know,
trying really hard.
I remember years ago that they were promoting this, and I thought it had already came out. But I guess like something happened. Like I guess
I
enough fans
think
complained that-
I think of the backlash that happened
Yeah.
against it, maybe had them pause it for a minute,
yeah.
and then bring it out. But it's just not funny. It's just it really there's just humor in it that just it's very matter of fact humor. Like it's just very like obvious jokes you would make as a fan of Thundercats. It's not like watching Harley Quinn. That's like that comedy is like
No,
adult,
right.
Adult Swim.
Yeah,
You know,
That's
yeah.
Swim style comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't expect it to be
Adventure
I don't expect it to be Adult Swim because it's a kid show. But like
Yeah.
I've seen kid show like modern kid shows that are comedic that take that comedy to that level where you're like, whoa, how, like this is like stuff that like I'm amazed. And you see like, oh, kids won't get it, they'll laugh, but when they're older, they'll be like, oh crap,
Like Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
you know, not
Yeah.
not like that, but you know, it's like, but when you watch Thundercats, they're such odd. The jokes are so very much like they're not even trying. It's just very like, oh yeah, you know, haha, this, and you're like,
Just
okay.
bad writing, I suppose.
It is. It's just. It's not hilarious at all. It's just very. It's like I'm just like whatever.
Yeah.
It's sad. That's the thing is like you know they had a chance to make another Teen Titans Go, but they
I
were
need
just
to
like
finish
those weak.
the Thundercats series, the rebooted one on Cartoon Network. The one
Oh,
that
I
came out,
finished
like-
that. It was so good a long time ago.
Oh yeah, I watched most of it and I loved it. And I think what happened was I lost track of when they were releasing the new episodes, so I never got to finish it. So my goal down the road also is to like get the complete series on. I think they have it on Blu-ray. If not, I'll get it on DVD and watch it.
You know what would be a good show to make a comedy version of, and they're going to do 2 serious versions. Kevin
Rainbow's
Smith.
Life.
Kevin. I am Randall. This is Randall's life. Hey guys, I'm Randall.
Oh, it'd be like a multiverse of Randalls. You know, like
The multiverse of Randalls. That would be a hilarious
all
title.
working together.
So
You know,
Kevin Smith is doing Masters of the Universe, which is
Oh, yeah.
his continuation of the original He-Man.
yeah.
Then they're doing the new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon. So you know what I think would be great to go with those two is to do a third show where it's a comedic take on He-Man, because He-Man is such a cool Jack Kirby-like universe,
Yeah.
but it's also very ripe for making fun of. I mean,
If they did a cartoon series like that, you know what I would like? I would like it to be kind of the style of Batman Brave and the Bold. Like I could picture He-Man sort of like you know how they wrote Aquaman? They wrote
Oh.
Aquaman like they wrote Aquaman like he was Thor. He's like, you know,
Right.
like he was like the adventure of you know, Aquaman, and you know, like he was just like he was basically just narrating himself and narrating like you know what was going on. You know,
Do you know
I can see him doing that with He-Man. But listen, the funniest characters of a cartoon series like that, you know, is going to be Skeletor and all the other villains.
Oh yeah,
Because the way
Yeah.
Skeletor just calls every one of his like minions like idiots, he like insults them. Like that's like even going back and watching the original series, like you know, like you buffoon, you know, like,
Yeah.
just that voice of like Skeletor just insulting everybody. Like
Do you know what did a good take on He-Man was Son of Zorn? Did you guys
Yeah.
watch Son
Oh,
of Zorn?
yeah.
the only thing that
Yeah.
threw it off was the whole him like with real people. You know, I think that's the only thing that kind of threw it off for me.
I enjoyed that because it was just hilarious. Like taking
Yeah.
it was them saying this He-Man world would only work in a cartoon, so it's got to look like a cartoon because you
Yeah.
can't have a live action guy running around like
No.
you know.
But I mean, like Jason Sudeikis is hilarious, and I think he was the voice of Zorn.
Oh, that brings up a good point. Did you? I know you saw the trailer. Let me see. Let me make sure it's the right person. Yeah, I know. No, it wasn't the right person. It's the other guy. Who's the other hilarious actor? He was in. Oh God, what TV show is it? He's in the TV show about the family that's all crazy. That Ron Howard created. Ron Howard narrates the show.
Will Forte.
Arrested Development. Yeah, Will Forte. So Will Forte is going to be hosting this show called Lego Masters,
Yeah.
where the people have to build like the Lego. Did you see that, Jeff?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. You saw the trailer. And basically, like they show him scenes like destroying their Lego creation.
I think what he's doing is he's the people who are eliminated. He's destroying their Lego creation because they're eliminated. They're like, don't
But
need that.
I tell you what, I saw the trailer for that and I was like, we've hit peak TV. Because when you have a show about people building Legos, like I like we've hit peak TV. There's only TV's going downhill after this. I'm sorry, but we've hit.
Well, I think the really great thing about that though is the fact that he is Lego Batman. So like Lego Batman is hosting a Lego show. So it's like, and I mean honestly, out of the Lego films, Lego Batman is still the best. Like Lego, I mean, Marco, you haven't even seen Lego Batman. Oh my gosh,
no, I haven't.
You don't even know the awesomeness that I'm talking about.
I have it on my Voodoo account. I need to watch it.
Best part. I think I already told you this part. I loved it. Spoiler alert for many of you who have not seen the film.
It's been like a year or two. They don't need a spoiler alert.
I laughed so freaking hard. This is the DC fan in me, of course. Where you see Batman, he's in the jet and he's making it back to the Batcave. And the Batcave is password required. And Lego Batman's like, Iron Man sucks. And password accepted, and it was just like I just caught me off guard and I just laughed so hard. I was like, that's hilarious.
Jeff, highlight Williams Tad and Bink comment. Well, I think it's Tag and Bink. No, the other one, not the other one. It's supposed to be Tag and Bink. But yes, I would watch the hell. You're right, William. I would watch the hell out of a Tag and Bink Star Wars cartoon. That is a great. If you guys have not read the Tag and Bink comics, read it. It's hilarious. It's basically like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, which is like these two Shakespearean characters. So it's basically like that where they start popping up in different moments throughout Star Wars films, and basically like, you remember these two characters in this scene in Star Wars? That was Tag and Bink. And it's hilarious. It would make an amazing animated cartoon. I don't know why they haven't. I mean, I know why they've done it because it's Disney, but it's perfect. It's perfect. Go buy the trade. You guys will laugh your asses off. You probably piss yourselves laughing.
Yeah. I mean, like now that Marvel has Star Wars, they just need to reboot Tag and Bink.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna. I forgot already. Random topic, I forgot.
Randall's like, snipe you.
Here's something I do want to point out. Some people are like, Disney Plus. I mean, Disney Plus has a lot of great content because Disney has made so much content over the years since the 1930s. And so, like, you have DC Universe that's out, and they don't have anywhere near the amount of content that Disney Plus has. They probably have 1/10 of the content that Disney Plus has. But I will say this though, DC Universe has way more, in my opinion, way more entertaining and better original content than Disney Plus. But then again, Disney Plus has like a more wider audience. So they're making all these different shows for like, the kids and their families. But I mean, like for me, like the biggest thing that Disney has, right, is you have Marvel, you have Star Wars, and then of course you have Disney itself. The only thing I take that back. There's only two things that I'm loving right now on Disney Plus, and that is The Mandalorian and the Jeff Goldblum show. Those are the only two things.
Some of the episodes are bad though, man. Like not all the episodes are great. You know what I mean? Some of the episodes are good on on that, but
on Jeff Goldblum or The Mandalorian?
Jeff Goldblum, Mandalorian's good, man, but Jeff Goldblum stuff hit or miss. You know what I mean?
Hit or miss because it depends on like the subject matter that he's kind of like focused on.
I think he hams it up too much for the television.
I
love Jeff Goldblum, but it's like, I love him. But there's sometimes when I'm like, come on, Jeff.
I mean, like the DC Universe, it's like every show the DC Universe has put out, I've enjoyed. Like I've enjoyed Titans, I've enjoyed Doom Patrol, Even the first episode of Swamp Thing, like I know I'm gonna love Swamp Thing. I'm so disappointed that show got canceled. It was a
You
huge.
haven't watched it all, man? You still haven't watched it all? I watched it all already. Way.
You know, I mean, I got busy, man. I got busy, and it's one of those like I knew that the show was canceled, so I was just like, oh, I don't need to catch up on it right now. Like, you know, it's almost like fine wine. I get to kind of like spread it out and enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, like Swamp Thing, and then what else? The Harley Quinn animated series, Young Justice, like everything that DC Universe has put out, I've enjoyed. Everything that Disney Plus has put out original content, I'm just like, nope, not interested.
Well, you paid. Oh no, you paid extra for it. Yeah, you paid the whole year off for
I paid
other
for
one,
3
never
years.
mind.
I paid for 3 years.
3. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get that as much as
That's the thing with
much out of
Disney.
it.
With Disney Plus, my main interest, honestly, and don't get me wrong, I love The Mandalorian, and I'm looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision and Loki. But my main thing for Disney Plus for me was all the old Disney stuff. I can tell you right now, if they never did another original show again, I wouldn't care. I just want the old stuff. And the possibility that maybe they might bring back some of the old stuff as new shows. Like I want to watch I don't want to watch a new take. I want to watch a continuation of Gargoyle. So Gargoyles. So I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the series, and one of my Facebook friends, they pointed out like how they constantly reuse the same music. You know, so like when I see an episode and I hear the music, I'm like, this must be the 20th time I've heard this version of the song.
I mean, you gotta remember, like when that was a show that like I don't think anybody was expected to do as well as it did, and I mean that was a show that like was dealing with a lot of more mature subject matter.
Yeah. I mean, dude, there was like these plot twists and surprises, and I was just like,
you always thought of Goliath and Cop were gonna hook up or something like that. When you were a kid, you always thought that. You know what I mean? So I remember watching it, and I've always thought about like they're gonna eventually.
Well, no. They played off the whole like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
In fact, there was even one episode, I think it was a Halloween episode, where the cop, Lisa Maza, she actually is wearing like a dress from like Beauty and the Beast, like she's wearing Belle's dress, you know. Right. And I was just like,
But the thing is,
that
Beauty and the Beast wasn't the inspiration, though. It was the live action Beauty and the Beast that was the inspiration.
Yeah.
For that show, that and
then Ron Perlman, with the great Ron Perlman.
Yeah, that and Ninja Turtles. Were part of the inspirations. But I love that show so much.
When we were kids, we always thought April would end up with one of the damn turtles. You guys know that.
I mean, hope for it, I guess.
I mean, she definitely wasn't going to end up in the cartoon with the first cartoon. She was definitely not ending up with Crazy Casey Jones.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you had to put it together with a turtle, which turtle would it be? But if you had to put her with a turtle, which turtle would it be?
Honestly, it would probably be Leonardo, because that would probably make the most sense.
Right.
I kind of hope for Michelangelo.
Realistically, it would probably be Raphael, because she fell in love with Casey Jones, and Raphael is basically the turtle Casey Jones. You know?
Right.
If she's smart, she ends up with Donatello.
in the new one, she Donatello got feelings for her. You remember the new cartoons?
The CGI one.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon cartoon.
He had the hots for her, and then I think at one point she had to let him down when Casey Jones showed up.
She was like, your turtle penis is not big enough.
Okay.
That's going a little too far, man.
Randall's like, I take it there.
Yeah, I do. I really do. I'm so sorry. I just can't help it. I can't help it.
Yeah.
There should be like a gift. There should be a gift of me, like there's like an envelope, and it should be a gift of me like just pushing the envelope. Pushing the envelope.
Well, it looks like right now you're pushing Marco. That's what it looked like.
No, wait, hold on. Push it. Wait.
Unlimited power.
But yeah, that's for me. Like, I want to see more of the old stuff on Disney Plus. I want to see the old cartoons, the old
Oh, dude.
TV shows. That's all. That's for me. That's my flavor. I don't care about
Yeah.
any of the new stuff. It's fun, but yeah.
I'm trying to decide what I'm going to watch next after Gargoyles. It's a toss up between the
Darkwing
90s Spider-Man or X-Men Evolution.
Or
You know, I
Darkwing-
really enjoyed
Darkwing
X-Men
Duck.
Evolution.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, Darkwing Duck, I just kind of like randomly will watch, like an episode here and there. Like I don't think it's one of those shows that I can binge watch. You know, I'd
grew
like
up
to,
on it, bro.
I'd like to do it, but like I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen a couple episodes where I'm just like, oh, I'm starting to get a little bored here.
Yeah,
know, this isn't
the
one of the
only reason
good-
I would even watch it is I remember when I was a kid going to my grandfather's shop and actually sitting in the back watching the Darkwing Duck at the shop. I would always like whenever I watch it, that's what the memory brings up. Is I remember him having a dog, and when me and the dog would always sit there and just watch Darkwing Duck. That's what I remember. Like whenever I watch it. So.
Oh, dude, there were so many. Like we were so blessed. There were so many great cartoons throughout the '90s. You know, late '80s, early '90s, and then somewhere along the way, you know, Saturday morning cartoons. Like toys, just what sucks is it's video games. Video games killed the toy industry. Video games replaced it. You know, like they still make toys, but toys don't sell like they used to. You know, and but back then when toys did sell. They would be like, we need a cartoon series. Why are we creating cartoon series? Because we're going to use that as a platform to promote and sell the action figures, because that's where the money's at. You know, and then somewhere down the line, toys sales dropped, so the demand for series dropped.
Yeah. So what do you think of the Sonic cartoon or a Sonic movie? What do you guys think is going to happen with the Sonic movie?
I hope it's.
I hope that's well. I like Jim Carrey.
So far, anything that's a video game property that became a movie has done horribly. That's what. So if you think about it, anything that's except for Witcher but certain things has, you know what I mean, has become like hot garbage pretty much. You know what I mean?
I hope it does good, because I mean, it reminds me a lot of like Hop, which is another James Marsden film. Where it's him and the CGI bunny. But I hope it's good, because I like the look of Sonic. I like Jim Carrey going back to hilarious, funky. Yeah, old school Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And I just want to, if they can pull off a good live action Sonic movie, awesome. So I'm hoping.
I think there's a lot of Sonic fans out there, both young and old. And also, I mean, the whole point of the film too is it looks like it's supposed to be like a family film. So like, hopefully, it's going to draw in a lot of people out of the families to go see Sonic. I know the Birds of Prey movie's getting ready to come out. And I think it comes out Friday.
Thursday.
Yeah, I think it comes out like a week before Sonic. So
what do you guys think?
Hope.
What do you guys think of the Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey movie? What are you guys thinking? Because you guys are the big DC guys. I'm DC and in the indie, and you know what I mean. I'm saying. So what do you guys think?
I hope that it makes as much money as Suicide Squad, if not more money than Suicide Squad. I'm worried it might not, now that I think about it, because the Joker's not in it. The Joker really plays a huge factor in the audience going to see Suicide Squad.
But my biggest thing, are you hoping it's going to be big, not cut as many times as Suicide Squad was? You heard how many times it was cut. So are you hoping this movie is not cut as many times as, there's been
critics that apparently have already seen the film, or at least reviewers, and so far like the feedback has been good for Birds of Prey. Mm-hmm. So it's a comic book film. I personally want all comic book films to do well, whether it's Marvel, whether it's DC, whether it's Image. I'm a true believer in the fact that I really want It's so funny too because there's so many people in the film
Yeah.
industry that are like they're
Let's,
sick and
let's
tired
have
of
Marco
how-
put in his 2 cents. What's Marco think? Marco, what you think?
I like the look of the film. I wish they had more of their superhero costumes on.
Yeah.
But I do like the look of the film, which is very Sin City-ish, you know.
Right.
But I do like that it's funky. And that looks like it's going to be action packed and it's going to be funny. I do wish they would have called it Harley Quinn in the Birds of Prey because it doesn't feel like Birds of Prey. Like Harley shouldn't be on the Birds of Prey. Hopefully in the second film she's not there. Hopefully this is just like they're gonna continue on and then she'll go back to the Suicide Squad or something, or maybe do her own solo film. But
I hope that in this. Sorry.
I think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to do as, if it does, that's awesome. But I don't think it's going to do as good as Suicide Squad. I think it's going to do as good as Shazam did, and I think WB will be happy with that. But I'm happy. I'm happy to be surprised and be wrong. So we'll see.
All right. The question is, what do you rate the Warner Brothers movies, DC Universe movies at? Where do you rate Shazam? Where do you rate Aquaman? And where do you rate, Batman versus Superman and Justice League? So what would you rate them at? Like, which one's is 1? Which one is 5? You know what I mean? So,
I mean, I would like to rate them by like letters, by grade, instead of like stars. So I guess we'll start from the beginning. We'll start with Man of Steel. Man of Steel, I want to say it's somewhere between a B+ and an A-.
Okay.
It's somewhere in that range. The second film, Batman v Superman, I'd say it's more like a B-. I'd say it's in the B- range. And then the next film after that was, I believe, Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, I give like a C+ on that one. I give it like a C+ on Suicide Squad. It was a lot of fun. It was like a very fun film. Great ensemble cast, I think. Especially with all the challenges that they went through to make that film and the way it was edited and cut. Like, there's a much better version of that film out there. After Suicide Squad was Justice League?
No. Wonder Woman, wasn't it?
Oh, Wonder Woman, yeah, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, I'd say somewhere up there with a B+, A- in that range. Let me think here. After Wonder Woman, Justice League, I'm going to give like a C. Just a solid C. After Justice League, I believe Aquaman. Aquaman, I'd give like a B. I think that movie deserves a solid B. And then after Aquaman, Shazam. I want to put Shazam somewhere between a B+ and A-.
You're a Superman. I knew you were a Superman fan, so you were gonna give the Superman Man of Steel one like an A or a B. I kind of figured that one.
But, go back and watch that film. And,
all right.
And Zack Snyder did, I think a tremendous job. I mean, you look at the caliber of the actors in that film.
Here is my
Russell
rating.
Crowe in there.
Let's see what Marco's ratings are.
Man of Steel, I give C+, B-. The reason is I didn't need another version of the Zod story. I feel there's no need for that version.
Sure.
I like Zack Snyder as a filmmaker. I do not hate him. I don't agree with every choice he makes, but I don't think that film needed that story again. So I give it a C+, B-. It's in between if there was ever such thing. So then after that, Batman versus Superman, I'm only going to rate the director's cut, not the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut of Batman versus Superman, I would give a B+. I just really enjoyed it. Again, I don't think everything in that film is perfect, but I really enjoyed that 3-hour cut. That's just my opinion. If everyone disagrees, that's fine. That's life. So after Batman versus Superman, we're on Wonder Woman? No, Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, I give a D plus. Suicide Squad, I like separate pieces of the film. And I think the video montage moments are the best parts of the movie. I think David Ayer is a good filmmaker, but you're not going to lie to me, WB. I've read the Hollywood Reporter articles. I know that movie has like 3 different versions that then got Frankenstein into one film. I want to see David Ayer's original cut where the Joker was the villain. And that's the movie that I think would be the awesome movie. So I'm going to give it a D+, but I give David Ayer an A+ in my heart because I like his movies. And then after that, from Suicide Squad, we go to Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give Wonder Woman a B+. I'm going to give it a B because my thing with Wonder Woman is the last quarter of the film. It turns into your basic Marvel end fight movie where it's Wonder Woman versus CGI god Ares, and again it's some old dude who then turns into a buff dude, and it's just like I just that whole movie up to that point was excellent, and then it got to that point and I was like, okay, you're just now treading on water here. So after Wonder Woman, what happened? Was it Justice League?
Yeah.
Justice League, I'm going to give a C-, and the only reason I'm giving it a C- is because it's a Justice League film. I don't think Josh Whedon did the best job. He didn't have the best situation, so I can't, be mad at Josh Whedon. But, again, as a Snyder fan, release the Snyder cut. So I want to see Snyder's original cut. I'm sorry. I feel as a fan of film, and I've said it before, as a fan of film, I like to see different cuts of movies. To me, it's an education. To me, it's a thrilling thing. So I want to see that. Now, the next film after that was Aquaman. I'm sorry, but Aquaman 2 to me is the 1980 Flash Gordon of superhero films. That Aquaman movie, I give it an A-. People may be like, you're crazy, you're insane, who do you think you are? But that Aquaman movie is A- all the way. The quotable dialogue, the comedy, just the suits, the visual appeal. Jason Momoa just brought it home, man. He's somewhere between a serious Aquaman and a semi pulpy, very like over the top Aquaman, and then after that, we bring it to Shazam, right? Shazam was the last one after that. It was Shazam was after. Okay, so Shazam, I'm gonna have to say I give it a B+, and the only reason I give it a B+ is I don't think Dr. Sivana should have gotten the powers because he's a scientist, and I feel they should have gone with the thing where he builds stuff to attack. Captain Marvel. I'm going to call him Captain Marvel. I don't like calling him Shazam. I like his original name, Captain Marvel. So I feel he should, be building stuff and using his scientific know-how to take on, it's might versus brain. It's that classic DC, Luthor Superman thing. So yeah, I give that a B+. And then I'm going to throw in an extra. What I think Birds of Prey is going to be.
Okay.
I'm going to say I think Birds of Prey is going to be a B+. I'm going to say that for right now. I could be wrong. I could come back and say, nope, that was crap, or that was a C, but I think it's going to be a B+ right now.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like a C+, somewhere between a C+ and a B-.
So, Jeff, what is your ratings?
Pretty much agree with most of yours, but I think Shazam is a little better than what you gave it. So, you know what I mean?
So you think it's A+?
Yeah, pretty much A+, and then pretty much Aquaman A-. You know what I mean? I like those two. So I like those two a little better.
Yeah.
Like Marco was saying, quotable dialogue. My favorite one was where she's pulling the water out of his head, and he goes, I could have pissed on it.
Yeah.
He's like, I could have just beat on it.
Like literally that and that's why the Aquaman film did over $1 billion, because it's like
one of the few things that kind of bothered me about the film, though, about Aquaman was the unnecessary the unnecessary montage scene of Black Manta like creating his suit.
Oh,
It's like-
I love that montage scene. As soon as they threw in a montage scene, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" They threw a montage scene in this movie.
I love
They threw
montage
two.
scenes.
I think they did 2 montage scenes in that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love montage scenes, but if you're like, okay, the Atlanteans show up and they're like, hey, we're gonna give you these weapons so you can go attack Aquaman, and then he's like, yeah, but I'm gonna make some changes first. And like, one, he can't be that super smart to like, I'm just gonna have a montage scene for me working on this stuff for 1 hour, and then
But
like now I'm gonna go after Aquaman. and take him down.
That's his downfall though. That's his cockiness. That's the whole point. Like
Yeah.
you know, he thought he could improve it to take
Yeah.
down. And I love it because it's such a classic. Like it's
Yeah.
a scene you would have seen like Sylvester Stallone in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's certain montage scenes that it makes sense. Like Rocky IV, he's training for the fight. You know the dude's gonna have like a month to kind of like train or whatever. In this case, Black Manta needs to hunt down Aquaman right now. No, not right now. I'm gonna do a montage scene of me making my suit. Like I would love like there's a series called HowItShouldHaveEnded.com. I think it would have been hilarious if they did that and they're like Black Manta's doing the montage scene and he's like, I finally have the suit made, and like Aquaman's already defeated. He's already defeated like everyone. He's already won, and so Black Manta's like what's his name? Ocean Master gave me this so I can take down Aquaman. Now that I'm ready to take on Aquaman, what? Aquaman's already defeated Ocean Master, and now he's the king of Atlantis. There goes my chance.
What I love about Aquaman is you have a superhero film, a straight up pulpy sci-fi film, and a kaiju movie. A freaking kaiju movie, all in one. I was like,
it was an epic action film. I loved it. Visually, it was beautiful. James Wan is a fantastic director. Like, I almost want him to be like, you know what? Go ahead and just stop making Aquaman movies and start making Green Lantern movies. Because the epicness of the underwater battle, I'm like, that's what I want to see, but I want to see it in space. I want to see Yellow Lanterns. I want to see Green Lanterns. I want to see maybe the evolution direction of the story going towards like the whole Blackest Night storyline. That'd be kind of cool to see. But.
And then for a split second, Aquaman turns into a horror movie. Like, with those creatures.
Right? Yeah.
Like, which is now spinning off into its own horror movie. Like that whole scene, that is just one of the best directed scenes I've seen in a movie.
And I think it's awesome that HBO Max, like James Wan, announced that they're doing an Aquaman animated series that's tied into the film. Or
I think it's a miniseries.
It's a miniseries. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a miniseries or movie. It's one of those, but it's animated.
I wonder if it's going to be more of an anime style.
I hope not, because some of the anime styles okay, not great. You know what I mean? It's not great. As long as it doesn't look like it's funky, because you guys know what I'm talking about, like where they you mix it with the American style, and you're like, what the hell is this?
I want it to look like the direct to DVD animated films, but with more money. Because I like those I like those direct to DVD animated films, but they have a limited smaller budget. So I want it to look like that and just give them more money to play with.
Speaking of which, animated direct to DVD, I saw the trailer for the Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge. I'm digging it.
Okay.
I will say some of the animation reminds me. It does remind me just a little bit, of the animation style from the animated series, which is really not that great. Just the character designs. Like when you see some of the character designs, you're like, this looks almost like the animated series from the 90s.
When I saw the trailer and it started, I was like, when I looked at the animation, I was like, yeah. But when the fight scenes, I see why they chose the animation style, art style that they did, because it's like, remember the old Jackie Chan cartoon, Jackie Chan Adventures? Yeah. So the backgrounds were very simple. They were hardly even backgrounds, But when the character models, very detailed. So when they fought, it was really fast, like anime. You know what I mean?
Right.
So basically, they were like, okay, we're going to do very simple, cheap backgrounds, so that way we can put all the money into the characters animation.
Yeah.
So that's what I think they're doing here, where it's like, our fight scenes are going to have all the money, and then everything else is going to have more direct DVD money.
I hope this does so well because I've always enjoyed Mortal Kombat. I love the characters, I love the storylines. I enjoy the games. I mean, the storylines I think are better than the games. And the game.
I'm gonna ask one thing. So what did James Wan's producing the Mortal Kombat movie? So what are you guys expecting out of that?
Okay, hold on. Before we go into that, I just want to say one thing. Do you guys remember the first time they did a Mortal Kombat direct to VHS animated film, and it was CGI animation, and it was horrible? Do you guys remember that?
I never saw it, but I think I
never saw it either.
I bought it. I bought it
Yeah.
when it first came out. I was maybe 13, 14, and maybe older. Maybe it might have been 15. And I had my mom buy it for me. Horrific garbage. I was so disappointed.
Was it like one of those G.I. Joe CGI animated direct DVD movies too?
Kind of like that. It was, but it was like, it was bad. Yeah. I was hoping to get some like badass.
You remember like the CGI Max Steel cartoon
That
series?
was horrible. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like along the lines like that, right? Like the way they moved, like they're like just like box characters, like just moving. And
so Mortal Kombat. What I'm expecting out of that, I want it to be on par with classic Hollywood, not Hollywood, classic Hong Kong cinema like Shaw Brothers and Golden Harvest.
Okay.
I want it to be
cool.
I want the fights to be on par with that. I want the movie to be rated R, but I think it's going to be PG-13, or is it going to be rated R?
I think it's going to be rated R because they're talking about they're going to show fatalities.
Okay, so I want them to not get too over. Like Mortal Kombat's an over-the-top world. It's literally inspired by all the old, kung fu films. So I don't. If they go over the top, I don't mind. But like, you got to have a balance. Like the thing with fatalities is
inspired by.
Yeah.
Raiden.
Yeah.
I don't want them. I don't want the fatalities to become too ridiculous. Like they got to mean something. Like when they do a fatality, you're like, oh shit, this fucker's dying.
You remember what Sonya, one of Sonya's was, right? It's the kiss and everything. So
So I'm just hoping for an R-rated classic, kung fu film. R-rated classic kung fu film that's just, you watch it and you're like, I just came out of the most badass movie that I'll be watching over and over again for the rest of my life.
Part of the reason the original Mortal Kombat film did so well, I think, in my opinion, was of course the music. So the scary thing is, what if this Mortal Kombat film is like, oh, it's a great film, but the music sucks, and it's like, just draw the music from. I mean, you don't have to play the entire song, but at least maybe keep the theme song when they're like Mortal Kombat. Like that's so important to have.
Okay, I got one more. Who would you guys cast as certain characters, like Sonya, like like the main villains, and who would you want to be the villain? You know what I mean? So because Baraka, we would have to have CGI anyways, wouldn't we? Baraka, or like dude with a bunch of arms would have to.
I don't know. Back then, I remember as a teenager, everybody wanting, if they ever did a Mortal Kombat movie, because I mean, literally, he was based on. But I remember everybody wanting Jean-Claude Van Damme to play Johnny Cage, if they ever did, because I mean, he's basically,
he's too old now.
Yeah. Now he's too old. But I don't know. There's no action actors I can look at and be like, I want this person in, more. I know what's his name who plays Jimmy Olsen is playing Jax. Like he got like in really good shape to play Jax.
Mikhail Brooks, I think.
Who would you say? What would have been funny if they got Jackie Chan earlier, and could have played.
Could play Liu Kang.
Yeah, Jackie could have played Liu
Kung
Kang.
Lao.
Or Jet Li could have played. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I would get Jet Li to play Raiden. In
Oh,
my
yeah.
opinion,
Yeah.
like he's no longer, because he was sick for a while.
Yeah.
So he was looking very thin, but now he's got well, I mean, he still has that he had, but he's gotten through it. So now he looks like he's more in better shape.
Normal then.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Like, I think he's like in the Mulan movie, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
I would get Jet Li to play Raiden, just because, like, one
I think he's too
Raiden,
short for Raiden.
huh?
I think he's too short for Raiden.
It's Jet motherfucking Li. Who cares?
Yeah,
All
and then
right.
a white guy played Raiden in the original one. So
And
it's
the
like,
and the first
Oh,
movie,
the Highlander?
the first movie,
Yeah.
the second movie, and the TV show.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
So I would like to see somebody who's an awesome martial artist, and he's Jet Li's better acting.
Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen could be. He should be Raiden. He should be Raiden.
He would be a good Raiden, but like I kind of feel like because
Liu Kang, maybe.
Raiden is supposed to more have that, like, that kind of like wiseness.
IP man is
Donnie
Liu Kang.
Yen's got wiseness. Have you not seen Star Wars Rogue One?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But
No, he could play the blind one, the blind guy that's in Mortal Kombat. He could play the blind guy in the Mortal Kombat, since he based off of that one. If you say it.
Who would play Shao Kahn? John Cena?
No. I was joking around. I said, in my head, I was joking around like James Hahn, 90-year-old James Hahn. No, but James Hahn playing the guy that takes souls.
Oh, dude, no.
Shang
James
Tsung.
Hahn. Remember, Shang Tsung was old in this because he's
Yeah.
young, because he takes soul.
Yeah.
So James
Yeah.
Hahn playing Shang Tsung, the old version,
Yeah.
and then he takes a soul, and then another actor plays the young version. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
amazing.
Hope
Like,
James Wan's listening.
Dude, it shows you how much Mortal Kombat was inspired by Big Trouble, because the lightning guy inspired Raiden, and then James Hahn's is Lo Pan. James Han Lo Pan is Shang Tsung. You know, because he's only young. Yeah, he's only young because he has the souls in him.
What if Johnny Cage is inspired by Jack Burton?
I mean, that would make sense, because Jack Byrne has a huge ego.
He talks a lot too. So
Yeah.
but could you see John Cena playing Johnny?
He'd have to, like, bulk down. Like, Johnny Cage isn't like.
Yeah.
I'm joking around, but
Johnny Cage is a pretty boy, so there's
Right.
got to be somebody who's in really good shape that can pass for a semi decent martial artist.
I
Oh,
think
the what was it? The Asian guy playing Shang-Chi, the new guy playing Liu Kang. if he wasn't cast as Shang-Chi, the Asian actor.
Shang-Chi.
The new guy. Yeah, the new guy.
From the Marvel movie. Yeah.
yeah. I like that guy. You mean the dude who's playing who's playing Shang-Chi. He's on this Canadian TV show.
The King.
Yes. I fucking love that show.
I would like
me
to
too.
see what's his name from Harold and Kumar. What's his name?
Harold.
John Cho.
John Cho.
John
Who would
Cho,
you
I
want him
think,
to
would make a good
Who
young
would you
Shang
want him to play, though?
I think John Cho could play in a show. I don't know if he could play in Mortal Kombat, but I think John Cho deserves to be in something a little more serious. I think he could
have him rocking the goatee, and he's like, "Your soul is mine."
I think John Cho would be cool to see him, play what we call it? What's the character from 24?
Jack Bauer.
Yeah,
Jack Bauer.
I could see John Cho playing a Jack Bauer type, or a
Oh, that'd be kind of interesting.
You know what's his name?
Government type,
What's his
right.
name from Patriot Games, and he's on the TV show in Amazon Prime.
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. You know, I could see him playing those type of characters. But I would love to see John Cho playing like some government agent, like, you know, badass dude who's got to like, you know, some CIA guy who's got to like stop the bomb, save the president. You know,
New 007. New 007.
I think John Cho deserves that. I mean, come on, that fight scene in Star Trek 2. You know, Star Trek 1. Star Trek 1.
Star Trek 1,
yeah, where he's got the sword, and, you know, it's like he's
like, do you have any skills? And he's like, fencing. You see him with like the sword.
Like, I think he deserves that. I think he would impress.
I mean, the fact that we're struggling to think of Asian actors, that goes to show you that there needs to be more diversity, because it's like it can't always be the same Asian actor playing all these different Asian roles. It's just wrong. It's just wrong on.
Yeah, but who would you have play? What the hell was it? The princess. I can't. Why can't I think of her name? Yeah, the princesses. You know, the Jade and the ugly one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Jade's mom.
Oh, I think what's her name who plays Gail Gadot? I think Gail Gadot would be great as one of the princesses.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would go maybe somebody really young. Like I'd go with what's her name from the Aladdin movie?
Oh yeah, she did good in Power Rangers. So she was able to do the whole I can kick butt thing.
The Arrow's daughter. Or who do you see her? Could you see her as Sonya Blade? The Arrow's daughter from Arrow.
Her as Sonya Blade. Sure.
Oh, yeah, she would be good.
Technically, you can almost see any blonde on television as Sonya Blade, I guess.
But I forgot we have what's her name on Legends, who leads the team.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Sarah
Land. So she could play Sonya Blade. The Green Arrow's daughter could play Sonya Blade. So yeah, there is. You know, that's. I was thinking more film instead of looking at television.
Yeah, but I was thinking of because one of the other podcasts brought up who, if you guys could see her as because they could see her as what the hell, Ghost Spider, Spider Gwen, because they called her. You know what I mean? They said, oh yeah, she can play Spider Gwen.
Ooh, that would be good.
Yeah,
I would love to see a live action Spider Gwen film. That would be cool.
But that's what I hear. It's happening. It's just it's in the works. That's what I hear. Rumors.
All right, guys, I gotta get going. It's past 12.
I'm calling the bed. I'm calling it anyway. You guys all look tired, and I know Rando needs to get some food in him. So.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, he's got to get ready for tomorrow, his last day of his second job, and he's like, goodbye, second job.
Well, technically, it was today.
Oh, she told you not to come in tomorrow?
I do get to sleep in, but I do have to work at Empanada World tomorrow. But at least I get to sleep in. And then, I mean, I'm still not done after this because I have my delicious Arby's waiting for me to warm up. So I have that for my dinner tonight.
All right. Let us sign us out, and then we can go.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's your boy Jeff, aka the Cantonese Comic Kid, aka the Cantonese Comic King, signing out on Extreme Nerd Table. I have Cantonese Comic Wednesdays coming up, episode 52, and I have Comic Books with a Hook on Saturday with Robert, and then I have Silver Parade Sundays, and the next episode of Extreme Nerd Table coming up next week. So tune in, guys. Be sure to check me out. Rando, you got anything going on?
Not at the moment. Like I just recently quit my second job, and so that's gonna actually free me up. I'm gonna actually have like more time to work on other things.
Okay.
Get my my comic book business, Blank Variant Comics, get that kind of established and advertise more and show off like books that I have to sell. So I'll be posting more, doing more of that, and then of course, hopefully down the road soon, I'll be doing some of my own YouTube videos that you guys can check out, and more just interviewing and talking to people and spreading the awesomeness that is comic books.
All right. Marco, you got any like stories coming up? Any books coming out?
So
Anything
stuff
that
I
you can
can't
tell us?
I can't not stuff I can talk about right now.
Okay.
I might this month. I might
Okay.
I gotta see I gotta talk to my partner on the book, but I might be
Okay.
announcing this month a book that we're gonna be kickstarting in May.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start building up, like we're gonna start promoting it this month every week, and then we're gonna start promoting it. Everything goes right, if it starts this month, it'll be promoting February, promoting March, promoting April, and then
Right.
it'll appear like May 1st is when it'll go live on Kickstarter.
Okay.
And it's going to be a sci-fi. It's going to be a superhero, 90s style superhero. I'm going to give you guys a great story. The art is looking fantastic. I've already seen character designs. The artist, he brought the idea to me. And then we just went crazy, developing this. It's going to be a really fun, kick-ass comic. So hopefully, we'll be talking about it this month, and then when I come on the show, that's something I can talk about. But that's probably the only thing right now that I can mention that will be, probably talked about in really soon in the near future.
I always had a story in mind. Maybe you could help me out with it, but I've always wanted it to be a comic. So me and you should talk.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
All right.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah. All right. Let's sign out here. All right, guys. See you guys later. Let's wait for the end of broadcast.